your San Antonio Spurs because I was watching Jeopardy, and then all of a sudden it goes off.
I told you.
I'm talking to my sweet wife as we're sitting on the couch, and she's doing the Bible of the year, so she's reading that as I'm watching Jeopardy.
Try to make up for all the sins she's done.
Yeah, for sure. All of us. We all need it.
I married a sailor.
That's right.
I need to get into the good book.
That's right. Goodness gracious. And then, so there's that. And then, Wimbound, first thing is they show him, so I pop you a picture. I'm like, look here, I found the alien. The aliens are here.
So you did that. And I will say this, as much as I was advocating for watching that game with the Celtics, which was a fun game, the rest of the stuff that happened in the world last night, first off, World Baseball Classic.
Dude.
Italy beats the United States.
So surprising. Nobody expected it.
So there was that one. And then also around the league, if you ever wanted to see somebody score the second highest amount of points in NBA history in a game, Bam Adebayo, of all guys, scores 83. So that passes Kobe.
Yeah.
So now it's Wilt, Bam Adebayo, and Kobe Bryant.
Right. That's a
It's a fun night of watching sports.
no kidding, man. Absolutely right.
And the Max Crosby trade got sent back like 2 hours before that.
Well, then there you go. Don't forget that.
I don't even put it on the same level, but
For a hockey
That just
guy.
kicked everything off.
Bryce, would you like to try that one again?
Yeah, for a hockey
The Penguins
guy.
were down 2 goals with 8 minutes to go and then
Just
came back.
reaching.
Is there anything you want to tell us about like middle school basketball?
Just keep reaching.
I was the garbage stick in hockey.
I don't even know what that means.
If you're just the separator on the bench between the offense and the defense.
I got it. All right.
Okay, I feel good about that.
Yeah. So at least we learned something. We did learn something. Yeah.
A deal that wasn't finalized didn't get done.
Yeah, right.
It's just crazy to me, though, that you go through all of that and then you just say, nah, we're good.
We're not going to do it.
We don't pass a physical in the NFL. It's what happens.
Yeah, right. And
Most of these guys are broken. That's why it's hard to deal for guys near 30 years old.
yeah, for me anyway, the World Baseball Classic, seeing Team USA lose, and I went to bed early, and so I didn't see the end of the game. I had no idea.
Yeah, it was a later start.
Because it didn't start till 9, and it was already this morning. First thing I saw was the first thing I checked. I was like, all right, let's see how bad we beat the Italians. The Italians can't be good at baseball. Turns out they are.
Well,
At least relatively decent on that night.
Giuseppe hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Did he also make a pizza?
What are you going to do?
That's right. Was Pinocchio out there playing too?
Pinocchio made some plays in the field.
Yeah. That's great. Just was so
They had
random.
Dominic the donkey that was outside of the dugout, and they were just rolling.
Hee-haw. We're back to Christmas time, it seems. Holy cow. Anyway, let's get to, now that you've caught up on all the things that are on the periphery, let's get to the things that you should know. First thing to know this morning.
They want you awake, informed, and ready to fight for the facts of the day in the land of the free. Now your sleepyhead nation needs your wake-up call. A mighty dose of reality coming in strong. Soon as the sun cracks the horizon so high, man, we got the story, no time for a lie. Put a boot in your ass, courtesy
And we
of
will if we need to. We do whatever it takes. We're not fooling around this morning, and want to let you know that Fonnie Willis is blocked. She's not able. She is not a part of the court case where
Miss Fonnie.
Yeah, a lot of the defendants are suing to be able to get their money back because you know what, they were taken to court for no reason whatsoever, and now Fonnie was like, "Yeah, I want to be involved in this," and Judge McAfee was like, "Since you've been disqualified, no." You don't get to participate.
How embarrassing.
Dude, and it seems so desperate. She knew. She had to know. She had to know they weren't going to let her be part of this, and yet she did it anyway. But it almost gives you a little bit of a what comes around goes around.
To watch what's going on in D.C., where you have, whether it's Chuck Schumer or Hakeem Jeffries, all talking about, when we get power again, we're going after this administration. We're taking them to court. All I have to say is Fulton County had that idea too. How'd that work out for y'all?
Not so good. Not so good. And
And you used an imbecile, by the way, who couldn't stop having sex with her boo and paying him.
and
The
then
man she's having sex with, she's like, I'm going to make sure that he gets taxpayer dollars.
and then on top of that,
Good luck.
The fact that, there was the obvious coordination now that's been, put out in the open with the White House, actual weaponization of the legal system. But this is a little bit of a double-edged sword for me because I'm fine that Fonnie's not involved in it, right? But there's that part of me that goes, man, these elections, they sure do have consequences. Because it's just the Fulton County taxpayer that's going to get screwed on this.
Well, I'm sorry to have to deal this out to you because I know that you're trying to do the right thing. But you as a Fulton County resident, I just say you get what you get.
We got what we voted for.
You get what you voted for.
That's exactly right.
There's a reason why I don't live amongst you monsters.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Bunch of animals. Come on now.
The taxpayers are just going to get taken to the woodshed. They're just going to get abused even more. Because, and here's my thing. Can we get Milton County back? Okay, when can we get Milton County? We ain't ever getting Milton County back because North Fulton pays for everything in South Fulton and Atlanta and all that. It's never going to happen, right? They're never going. The establishment will protect itself, just like the establishment took advantage of the people in Buckhead when they wanted to become their own city. Look what happened there.
Let me ask you this. Is this an age thing? Because as I've gotten older and the more people that I talk with, we now reference what it was like 20 years ago, 25 years ago, when we would make our way into the city on a regular basis, well, primarily for events.
Yeah, man, fun times.
Now it's turned into don't go anywhere near it.
You can pay me. There's nothing down there.
I'm just curious if I'm the only one who basically is looking at it and saying, Fulton County, you're your own cesspool.
Yeah, man, and it is.
Drown in it.
Gosh, it's so bad, dude. I mean, I could literally pull my house a mile and a half. If I could pick it up and move it a mile and a half, I wouldn't be in Fulton County anymore. Mile and a half. That's how close I am to the Forsyth County line. And you're like,
if only.
If only. Yeah, it's exactly right. Why couldn't one of those, how the map's all wacky?
I mean, I got 22 years now out of Fulton County. Yeah. And every single time we get down to tax time and voting, I just kind of look at things and go, okay, this is working out better than had I lived still in Fulton County.
And finally got reelected. Yeah, she's going to get reelected. Sure, she'll get reelected again. She runs again. Now, will she ever have any relevance again? No.
No, she had her shot.
Yeah, that's it. She's dead. She's dead in the water. There's nothing she can do. I mean,
they put her out there, and they were going to be, here you go. Here's your chance of being a national hero, national celebrity. And she couldn't stop having sex with her boo and paying him taxpayer money.
But, I mean, people like to get after it. I mean, that's just human nature. They
Fine. Listen, I got almost 20 years with my wife. Yeah. The only thing that I haven't done is made it a point to find a way to get her taxpayer dollars.
That's right. Well, look, there's always time. And Fonnie said there's time.
You don't understand. My wife is working 23 hours out of 24 a day for the residents of Forsyth County. I mean, that's basically what she did.
Yeah, no, I know. And then when you look at Fulton County, when you talk about things that are corrupt and maybe not good, there's a county out in Arizona, Los. It kind of has a lot of similarities to Fulton County. Some of the crazy things that have gone on.
Man, it wasn't just Fulton. We had the FBI raid, and you then end up having where the voting area, they get after the ballots, they kind of figure out what's going on there. Now that we've had it in Arizona, the real comedy is this when you start to break it down. You see all of the voting irregularities that happen there. You can make the argument that Kari Lake has won 2 different elections, one for governor, one for senator.
Yeah.
Because as much as we can say, all right, there was some weird stuff, weird shenanigans that happened here. There was a water main leak, and then by 3 o'clock in the morning, Joe Biden was up. In Arizona, they actually told you flat out early on, like early in the day voting, hey, all of our systems are down, but we'll make sure that they're going to work. And by the time they start working, now suddenly the fix was in early on during the middle of the day.
Dude.
The way it's looking as of right now, where 11,000 votes were the difference in the 2020 election, and there were 35,000 right off the top that were fraudulent.
Dude.
Right off the top.
It is filthy. It's and the crazy thing, there's still people. Matter of fact, I talked to one yesterday. There's still people that are like, anybody that believes that the election was stolen is crazy.
I'm sorry, I subscribe to math. What do you subscribe to, you moron?
Politics. They subscribe to politics, Los. That's exactly what they do.
Statistical impossibilities.
But it happened with COVID too. And look at the outcome.
Who was right and who was wrong on that one?
But that's the point, right? Is that every time these people still try to tell you, oh no, everything's on the up and up. Everything was good. 2020 is good. They still have the audacity to tell you that.
It is statistically impossible in almost every single county in the country to have 9 out of 10 votes, 8 out of 10 votes going for Joe Biden.
And you've used the example before, even in blood red Forsyth County.
We're 73% of the vote in blood red Forsyth County. So a little bit over 7 out of 10 go Republican. Yet during the 2020 election, 8 to 9 out of every 10 were going to Joe Biden. It's impossible.
And no one said a word.
Nope.
No one. They acted like it didn't happen.
Well, we'd lived through so much madness, nobody questioned anything at that point.
The Republican establishment didn't say anything. The Democrats were happy you didn't say anything. Goodness, dude. Just out of control. And they expect you still to this day to believe it. They expect you to not say a word. And if you don't believe it, then you're the crazy one. A little in a different directions. Clay Fuller, he was a district attorney under Brian Kemp at some point, and he won the election in 14. He topped a heel square off in a special election for Georgia 14, the one that Marjorie Taylor Greene abandoned. They will. He'll run off against Sean Harris, the Democrat. I have a feeling Clay is going to win that big because that is blood red, much like Forsyth County. That whole Georgia 14, is up northwest Georgia, Whitfield County, where I live, blood red.
Working people,
working folks
don't have time for the silliness.
So I expect Clay Fuller will eventually pull this off. And beat Sean Harris, but dude, he was the outright last night in that special election. So good for him, man. It's encouraging to see because there were so many Republicans. There was just so many people. There
was a large amount.
It was like 15 or 16 people. It seemed like it'd be really difficult to get to that 50-plus.
I mean, the race was you have to win the Republican side in order to figure out who's going to be the winner.
Yeah.
It won't be a Democrat.
No, definitely not.
It's like, can I win this special election amongst these 13, 14 people? Because if I do, I'm going to end up with a seat in Congress.
Yeah, there you go. So it'll be an April runoff against Sean Harris for Clayton Fuller. For 14. Maybe we can get Clayton on the show as soon as he wins, or maybe even ahead of time.
Clayton.
Yeah, Clayton. Let you know. I'm pulling for you here on the Morning Extra. 6 o'clock hours brought to you by Subaru of Gwinnett. When we continue, the Talkmaster DL Bortz joins us on Extra 106.3.
Extra 106.3 is getting ready for the 2026 midterms. And on the ballot, it's freedom versus communism. The choice is clear, and your vote matters more than ever. The future of our community and our country hangs in the balance, and the conservative voice of Atlanta will continue to fight the good fight right up to the election. Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
I do believe that there will probably be another cold snap. I'm not convinced that we're moving toward warmer weather just yet. It's coming though.
The low today is 41, so it's coming.
Yeah, it's definitely coming. What is also coming is the fact that your AC system is going to be overworked, and it's going to be sooner rather than later. March is the best time for those AC tune-ups, and when it starts getting really hot, everybody's going to do it. And there'll be a little bit of a line. You might have to wait a little bit. So don't. Get it done now. Don't wait till the first hot day. Everyone does that, unless you're a really smart homeowner. And then you don't do that. You beat the rush. when you do those maintenance visits from Central Heating and Air Conditioning, you get lower utility bills, even before the summer. You catch those small issues before they become expensive issues. 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com. Call Chuck and his team today. Schedule your spring maintenance before the rush hits. The first 85-degree, 90-degree, 91, 92, 93-degree day is on its way. Your air conditioner, when it is working hard, don't let it break down on you. Don't wait. Get the maintenance done today with Central.
Did your security provider sell your account to another company? Or are you unhappy with your current security service? I'm Matt Harvey with Alert 360 Security. We protect the homes and businesses of over 12,000 of your friends and neighbors right here in Metro Atlanta. Our award-winning customer service and 5-diamond certified monitoring start at just $15.95 a month. Switching to Alert 360 is easy. Visit alert360.com to learn more. Sign up in March and get a free electronic door lock. Protect what matters most with Alert 360.
Staples has hot deals and low prices on everything for your business, like up to $125 off on your print order. Ends 4/18. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
I'm Bill Hemmer, and these are the most impactful moments in American history. October 14th, 1947, from a Boeing B-29 bomber, U.S. Air Force pilot Chuck Yeager descended into the Bell X-1, a sleek orange plane which he dubbed the glamorous Glennis. At 20,000 feet, the X-1 launched from the B-29 and soared 30,000, 40,000, 42,000 feet into the sky. Yeager accelerated faster until Chuck Yeager reached Mach 1.06 and broke the sound barrier. It was a flight many believed to be impossible, but Chuck Yeager's historic achievement helped Americans reach new heights and test new limits. For more on this impactful moment in history, go to foxnewspodcast.com. I'm Bill Hemmer, Fox News.
This is House Call for Health. March is National Nutrition Month. The Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics says it's an important time to learn about making informed food choices and developing healthful eating and physical activity habits. The Academy started the annual campaign back in 1973, but fast forward to this year, and the theme is Discover the Power of Nutrition. The month is broken up into 4 weekly messages. Week 1 was Power Your Day with Nutrition. Choose healthful foods from all food groups and avoid fad diets that promote unnecessary restrictions. Week 2, find advice backed by science. Use accurate sources for nutrition information or meet with a specialist. Week 3, stay nourished on any budget. Learn cooking and meal prep skills that work with the resources you have. And Week 4, feel good with healthy habits. Reduce the risk of foodborne illness with home food safety and plan in advance to avoid mealtime stress. For more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
It's Wednesday, March 11th, and here are your headlines. Georgia farmers are starting to feel the impact of the Middle East conflict, with rising fertilizer prices creating new concerns across the state. U.S. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins says the federal government is looking at possible ways to help farmers if costs continue climbing. The Georgia House has approved a $38 billion state budget that includes increased funding for literacy coaches, school safety, and other education priorities. The spending plan now heads to the Senate for consideration. And finally, Governor Brian Kemp says he is considering suspending Georgia's gas tax if fuel prices continue to rise due to the Middle East conflict. The governor says he has paused the 33-cent per gallon tax after Hurricane Colleen in the past to give drivers relief during price spikes. Today's weather is mostly cloudy with a high of 81 and a low of 48. With your Extra 106.3 headlines, I'm Bryce Gobert.
Whoa, boy, here we go. Get ready. Things are about to get wild and crazy.
Oh, my butt.
Oh, on the Morning Extra. On Extra 106.3. Neil Morris, the Talkmaster, joins us. Neil, how are you, buddy?
Better and better.
That's good. I like that. Okay.
Yep.
Step in the right direction. Good.
Coming
positive.
to today from the Shark Tower.
You're in the Sharks Tower?
Yeah, no, I'm at the Shark Tower.
At the Shark
I couldn't get all the broadcast equipment up into the Shark Tower.
Okay. Where's the Shark Tower?
Somebody's Googling it over there in your offices right now, I'm sure.
Bryce's
Yeah.
his head is spinning. He's like, what? Where? How is this happening?
Yeah.
All right.
So, anyway, what is this Bocephus BS? I knew Hank Williams.
Well, we knew.
There was no doubt.
There's no
in my
doubt
mind.
about it. We were just wondering if there was a Hank Williams, Neil Bortz interaction at any point.
Yeah, there was.
So
But look, that wasn't that. When I was a country jock, that wasn't my type of music, really.
well, which one? Hank Senior or Hank Junior? Which
I've
one?
never met either one of them.
You never met either one. Okay.
No.
Well, then what was the
Look, I
connection
was
there?
on a little, podunk radio station in College Station, Texas, that operated. It operated out of a building that was, maybe the size of your newsroom. No, probably smaller than that.
Okay.
Your news, that news and sales, where Mohawk Boy lives.
Mohawk Boy.
Yeah.
So it was probably smaller than that.
I know where that is.
Very nice
But I will
man.
tell you this: that Travis Tritt first named that song. Here's a quarter. Call Bortz.
I love that. He should have stuck with that. If you're asking me, he should have went with that and just stuck.
I
with
like that. I like that song. But I was telling Donna last night. Was it? No, it was yesterday afternoon. We were having lunch somewhere, and it's Skillets. Just to give them a plug down here in Naples, best bacon in town.
Okay.
And I looked up, and there on the picture on a wall was a picture of the Orange Blossom Special.
Okay, that's awesome.
Aren't you supposed to ask me what the Orange Blossom Special is?
What is the Orange Blossom Special?
Well, I know it's a song.
You know the song. Mm-hmm. It's a train. Mm-hmm. The Orange Blossom Special was an ultra luxury passenger train that left New York, headed for Florida, and its destination was Naples.
There you go. All right.
So we have the Naples Depot downtown, still has a car there that came from the Orange Blossom Special. But when I was a kid, I was just enthralled with a song by Billy Vaughn and his orchestra called the Orange Blossom Special. And little did I know, I wonder if that was, foretelling something for me, that someday, Bortz, you're going to live there, right there, where the Orange Blossom. I didn't know, but it was a train at that time.
Okay.
So I know that's fascinating stuff, isn't it?
It is a song written by Irvin T. Rouse and then made famous by Johnny Cash, 1965.
I don't remember Johnny Cash's version.
Oh, that's the only one I know.
Because I didn't know he sang the fiddle. I mean, he played the fiddle.
He didn't, but his band did.
It's a fiddle song.
Yeah.
Now, I'll tell you one fiddle player that we were pretty good friends. I just adored this guy. And you might recognize some of his songs. I'm having a mind fart. Charlie Daniels.
Daniels.
CDB also performed that song for sure.
Yeah. But Charlie Daniels, my favorite song with him, oh gosh, I can't
Legend
remember.
of the Woolly Swamp.
No, I was backstage with Charlie Daniels one time when he did a free concert from the stage in Central Park up there in New York.
Oh wow! All right.
And
I don't think I ever realized he did a show there.
Drinking My Baby Goodbye.
That's my favorite song from CDB too. I love that song.
And I tried, and Charlie and I talked about this. I tried so hard learning how to play the fiddle, and Donna finally threatened to leave me if I didn't put that damn thing down.
I love it.
And they got these kids that can do that. There's no. Either one of you play a stringed instrument?
No, I have no ability for that.
I tried to learn guitar and it did not work out well.
Well, there are no frets on a fiddle.
Right, yes, I did know that.
Yeah. You have to create every note.
Yeah.
Me? No, couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm told that y'all didn't spend much time yesterday talking about the Gainesville situation.
No, sir, we didn't.
We had it in our news, and we've obviously been following the story. But it's, obviously a tragic story, and the way that it's unfolding, it's definitely different than what it was initially reported and how it looked.
Yeah, and then
Different how?
Well,
Well, please. I mean, I'd like to hear your understanding of it, and then we can fill in from there.
I mean, by the time it was reported to me, it was a high school prank that just went terribly bad.
And because the initial story was, well, look at these horrible kids and the act that they did. And by the time the family gets involved and to basically just say, listen, this was a fun prank that just had a tragic, horrible ending, to then try and prosecute these children over it, the family involved is saying, you got to turn these kids loose. This was an accident.
Yeah, but now Lee Dara, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's the Attorney General in Hall County. Look, yeah, it was a prank. Prank goes, ding dong ditch. How would this be if it was ding dong ditch? Where the kids from TikTok learn to, in the middle of the night, to go kick somebody's door in or bang on it and then run. And, what if some guy comes running out of his house to catch whoever was doing this and gets run over by a car? I mean, who's driving that car? Oh, they were just doing a ding-dong ditch.
Well, that's purely a hypothetical, Neil. They didn't kick his door in.
And the teacher knew that the prank was coming. It was part of the junior-senior wars, and that's why his wife said he was out there having fun with it with the kids. We do not want this to be prosecuted.
Well, as an officer of the court, gentlemen,
this is true. This is true. Yeah. So everybody back up here. Here we go.
I really did spend a lot of time thinking about this. I mean, even going so far as to review case law on Georgia Section 40-6-393, vehicular homicide. Were the elements of vehicular homicide there? Number one, a person dies. Number two, reckless driving. You got it. There you are. Number three would be listening to WAP on your radio while you're driving a car and you run into somebody.
We're unsure as to what they were listening to, but we
might
do
have been
know
Charlie Daniels.
Could have been sitting on a bar acting like a darn fool.
Well, how can you... Vehicular homicide, no. I mean, I don't know that you want to send somebody off to jail, but somehow, at some level, this has to be prosecuted. It has to be on somebody's record that they got stupid and ran over somebody. I don't care if he tripped on wet pavement and the car ran over him. The fact is that the guy driving that pickup truck was not exercising the due diligence and caution that we, the public, deserve out of somebody driving a pickup truck under any circumstances on a public road. So there has to be some sort of a prosecution here. You don't just say, they were just playing a joke on somebody, ollie oxen free, but it's going to be tough. I'm glad I'm not that DA that has to make the decision.
What would your decision be? Knowing the story now that you've researched it, knowing the statutes that you quoted there, what would you do?
Probably one element of involuntary manslaughter.
What does the sentence look like for that?
Probation.
Okay.
Probation, no jail time.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I just know the wife has asked that not happen.
Maybe a loss of license.
Do you think the wife's input, do you think her statement is taken into consideration?
It's going to be controlling.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
I would think so, too, but as a guy that's just speculating completely because I don't have that background in the law like you do.
Well, just thank whoever kept you out of law school.
And it's funny because actually I've been trying to talk my son into going to law school. After he graduates, I want him to do it.
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, why not? Well, I thought this would be a good thing.
Because it is a perfectly miserable way to earn a living.
Well, but it seems like it would be, especially with him, I would think he could represent ball players. He represents artists in Nashville. There's a couple different things.
Neil, let me ask you this. Had it been a different form of law that you were practicing? Because I know some real estate attorneys. Obviously, there are people that represent athletes in financial situations and representation. Had there been a different form of law, that it would have been a different outcome in terms of your view of it?
Yeah, probably. I mean, the most miserable part of my existence in practicing law, and I forget how long, 17 years. That's how long I practiced law. The worst part was trying to represent professional athletes. And I'm not referring to one particular. I'm just referring to the broad spectrum of professional athletes. They are entitled, goons. I've told you this before. I get woken up in the middle of the night, 2:00 in the morning. Hi, this is Sheriff so and so down here in Pinellas County, Florida. Is so and so your client? Oh God, yes, sir. What has he done now?
What has he done?
Well, our officers just had to pull him out of the ladies' room at this bar down. So, oh geez,
it's interesting that you bring it up like that, Neil. I have a friend of mine who he sold his law practice about 3 years ago, and I remember speaking with his left-hand man, who's a woman, and I said, why did he make this decision? And she goes, we are tired of dealing with clients that these people that you're trying to explain to them how to stay out of trouble, and they might even compensate you well for it, and yet they continue to get into trouble to the point where this next version of his life, he rather represent veterans that were trying to get their benefits from the state or the government. That felt better to him, and he could sleep easier at night than dealing with people that he was keeping out of prison.
Well, the best part of my law practice was, and it gave me some decent trial experience in federal courts and what have you, was I was working for a bank out of Boston, as a matter of fact, and I was closing their loans on commercial properties across the country. This is where these multi-million-dollar properties, and when if the time came to foreclose on them, I'm the guy that called Delta and got over there and foreclosed on them. But that paid. Let me tell you guys, that paid, especially the time where I had to foreclose on a hotel that was owned by a sovereign citizen.
Oh, wow. I bet that was an enjoyable interaction.
This court, Your Honor, doesn't have any jurisdiction over me because there's a big gold fringe around that flag behind you.
Yeah.
What?
I don't have to use the stop sign. It's got a white banner around it.
Yeah, exactly. But there was a Superior Court judge in DeKalb County at the time that I graduated from law school, and his name was Curtis Tillman. He is the one that actually called me off the air over at Ring Radio and said, "Congratulations, lawyer, you passed the bar."
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I called my mom at home and I said, "Okay, bitch, I passed."
Why would you ever say that to your mother, Neil Boards?
Well, son, don't be disappointed when you fail the bar exam. Everybody does the first time.
Well, but
at that point, I wouldn't even talk to her until after I'd taken the test.
She's just trying to, because it is a challenging test. A lot of people do fail at the first time. She's trying to soften the blow a little bit.
Bitch had to learn.
Oh, yeah. Well, hey, thanks for the positive thinking, Mom.
She's just looking out for you, Neil.
Just trying to set the expectations.
Seriously. And you hit her with a B-bomb. Good Lord.
Well, Curtis Tillman gave me the best piece of advice day one that I ever received as a lawyer. Your worst enemy is your client.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
That's true. I mean, that's, you got some, like you're saying, you got some kid out there thinking, I'm going to be a lawyer. Yeah, okay, well then the people that you are billing for the work you do for them, they're going to be your worst enemies when you get out there and practice law.
Oh, yeah, I could totally see that. That's for me. I want my son, when I said to go get a law degree, it was more representing them on the contract side, like when they're in negotiation with a team or in negotiation with a record label in Nashville.
Yeah.
That's what I think he would be great at. He's so good at that. But
yeah, now you're taking me back to the days when I was a National Football League player representative.
What?
Certified, all that kind of stuff.
And so did you help negotiate contracts like I'm talking about?
Yes.
Neil Bortz, I never heard this a day in my life.
It's not important.
Well, yeah, it is. It's interesting. Okay, maybe it's not the most important thing you've ever done. Flying Jimmy Carter in a hot air balloon, more important. I get
the most important thing I've ever done is marry Donna.
Yes, okay. All right, understood.
Yeah.
But that part is interesting, and I would imagine Los being a football guru, a numbers guru. He's putting together a draft guide now. That stuff's interesting to us.
Yeah, he would know some of my clients.
Okay, but that's the thing. Like,
but
we
I'm
don't
not going to tell him.
Oh.
No, I think when you're in that game, and it was different. I'm sure it was different when you were doing it. The NFL has since made it a point that you actually have to have a higher level of education, or you have to be certified by the NFLPA. Basically, you have to have a law degree. Before, it used to be the Wild West, where guys like Neil, if you were able to actually get yourself an attorney, that was a plus. Some of the people that were out there were negotiating contracts who had zero background in law.
But, the most important thing that we that we talk to our clients about, I think, was watch out for those women.
Oh, I bet. There's a whole class on that, isn't it?
I'll tell you this one, Neil, and you tell me if this emulates what you were told in the past. I have a friend of mine, played basically a decade in the league. He's coaching in the league. And I remember when I was getting married nearly 20 years ago, he said, "Do you know her credit score?" And I was like, "Yeah, she has great credit." He goes, "That's the starting point. Want to know her credit score, because if that's crappy, she's never going to be able to take care of you or your money."
Or your kid.
Yeah,
you see, that was the one thing that in our little seminars and our meetings, this is what we have to get across to these players. You are going to be making a lot of money. And there are going to be beautiful women out there whose main goal in life at that point will be for you to knock them up. And they will lie to you about birth control.
Oh, I know.
And for you to get them pregnant so that they can get child support from you for the next 18 years. Long past when you're drawing down a big-time football paycheck. They'll still be getting child support from you, and all they wanted from you at the beginning was one seed. And we were a little more graphic than that.
No, I'm sure. Sure. And
we have to get it across to young guys
that's right,
that are on top of the world.
Absolutely.
But right now, I'm so disenchanted with the NFL, and it's getting that way in college sports now with this NIL crap. Go ahead, knock somebody up and write them those checks for 18 years. That's everything you deserve. I need to catch up on The Pit.
Are you into that show?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Tell me about The Pit. I don't think I know about The Pit. What's The Pit?
It's on The Pit. It's
HBO.
Probably the best show on TV.
I'm still watching Silicon Valley that Los turned me on, and that's what, 10 years
and
old?
90210, you watching that too?
Yes.
But Silicon Valley, I'm glad it took me a while. I finally got Tug to try it, and it's a very funny comedy making fun of Silicon Valley.
I have laughed so hard. It's ridiculous how laughed.
It's a Mike Judge written comedy. So it's very well done as far as mocking that end of the business.
I'm always good for comedy. Hey, I wanted to get into this. So real quick, what week is this? In the great American calendar, where every week is a something week and all that kind of stuff.
I'll look it up.
Civic Learning Week.
Oh, well, that's good. I don't know if anybody's going to learn anything about civics this week because I don't teach it in school anymore.
How would you define a good civics education?
Okay, if you were to ask me, I would love, for instance, Neil, I stole some of your thunder about a week or two ago when somebody was running off at the mouth about your constitutional right to vote. I started right there. Yeah. Like you do not have a constitutional right to vote. Right. And then it was round and round and round as far as realizing that when it comes to civics, when it comes to just the structure of the country, how things work, there are plenty of people maybe a majority, that have no idea what they're talking about.
Exactly. I mean, and AI is a wonderful tool in this. I mean, okay, so over the weekend, I used AI to find out where the best potato skins in Naples were.
Well, that's good. Put it to good use. I like it.
I did. But you ask AI, is there a constitutional right to vote in a federal election? The answer is no, there is not.
Okay, now, I got it right. I'm surprised.
Some states have a constitutional right in the state constitutions to vote in local elections, but there is no constitutional right to vote for president or senator or whatever. And it's not there.
And Neil, and here's the point I always try to make. They can bring up whatever amendments they want, and I point out within those amendments, those are written and those are law to determine ways that people cannot keep you from voting.
In state elections,
In state elections. That is the clarity. It doesn't mean, well, all women have the right to vote. It's pointing out that states cannot restrict women from voting based on being women.
Can I stick around for a minute? I want to tell you what kind of learning week I would like to have.
Absolutely.
Sure, let's get through the break.
More with Neil Bortz next on Extra 1063.
Extra 1063 Sports, powered by 680 The Fan.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Wednesday, March 11th. From the NBA, the Atlanta Hawks have now won 7 straight games after a home win against the Dallas Mavericks last night, 124-112. Jalen Johnson goes for 27 points. Around the league, the second highest scoring effort in league history occurred last night. Bam Adebayo of the Miami Heat scored 83 points in the Heat's 150-129 victory over the Washington Wizards. Deals around the NFL become official as of 4 o'clock this afternoon as the new league year will get underway. The Falcons are expected to announce the signing of former Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa as he will become a free agent this afternoon. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina. Hi, it's Los, here with Tom Mitchell, the honest car guy. Tom, you are changing the way people are buying their next pre-owned car or truck. How are you doing it?
At the Honest Car Guy, the entire process is completely transparent. You pay what we pay plus our honest fee, and we even prove it by giving you a copy of the bill of sale. We can sell you any make, any year, any model, and at the Honest Car Guy, you'll save an average of $5,000 to $10,000 depending on the price of the car.
Folks, if you want to save thousands on your next pre-owned car or truck, call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or honestcarguy.com.
When I first started using a CPAP, getting supplies and equipment was a horrible hassle. It pretty much stayed that way until I discovered CPAPs, etc.com. Same-day shipping on anything you might need, including travel CPAPs, hoses, masks, you name it. Same-day shipping. CPAPsETC.com or visit their store in Alpharetta. So easy, and you could be preserving your health and saving your life.
A Social Security update. 70 million Americans collect Social Security benefits today, and millions more will join soon. Now, a new study finds 70% of Americans don't get the full benefits they deserve. But recipients can use simple strategies to boost Social Security benefits by as much as $188,000 over a lifetime. Social Security expert Michael Allen says it's true and reveals 5 key strategies to increase your benefits. It's all in his free special report. Newsmax calls the report your best guide for bigger Social Security benefits. Whether you're getting benefits or soon will, you need the Social Security report. Get it free. Call 800-999-9690. 800-999-9690. We'll text it to you right away, along with President Trump's act cutting your Social Security taxes. Call now, 800-999-9690. 800-999-9690. Text and data rates may apply.
Well, I appreciate you guys. I love what you do. I love your show. Love your listeners. And just remember, one team, one fight. This nation actually is special for a reason. If we lose it, there's no more hope in the world. I truly believe that.
The Morning Extra, 6 to 10 a.m. on Extra 1063 and the Extra app.
Tug and Los on Extra 1063, continuing our discussion with Neil Bortz, the talk master. Neil, you asked to come back because you had something you wanted to get off your chest. You wanted something you wanted to explain.
Well, you know, the Civics Learning Week, teaching these kids while they're young, no, you don't have a constitutional right to vote in a federal election. But what you know that ain't so weak. I would like to see some educated people offer themselves to civics classes in high schools. It would just one day to teach them that some of the things that they are so sure about are absolutely untrue. And I can think of 3 of them right off the top of my head. Tell these kids, Social Security, it's a fraud. And by the way, you have no legal right to ever receive any of that money back that you pay into Social Security. There is no trust fund, and there is no law that says the government must let you have even 1 penny of that money back when you retire. And the next thing would be corporate taxes. You're going to hear politicians all your life talk about, we're going to raise corporate taxes to pay for all these things we want to do. The only taxes in this country, the only people who pay taxes are individuals. They hold all of the wealth, they pay all of the taxes. And corporate taxes are just another way of hiding taxes on individuals behind some fancy name like corporate taxes. Every dollar that a corporation pays in taxes to the government either comes out of an investor's pocket, or it comes out of an employee's pocket, or that comes out of the people who ultimately consume whatever that corporation is building, period. And the last one would be my favorite. The United States is not a democracy. It was never intended to be a democracy. Our founding fathers despised the idea of democracy. The word democracy does not appear in any of the documents of our heritage, including any state constitution, or the Declaration of Independence, or the U.S. Constitution. If you want to know what a democracy is, look at a lynch mob. The majority want that person dragged out of his jail cell and lynched. The sheriff is holding up the Republican idea, due process under law. Just, I have been invited to talk before high school classes, and the one thing that bothers me is they look at me and say, who's this old fart? Yeah. But you see mouths hanging open when you finally explain to them, you don't have any right to your Social Security money.
Neil, I'm sure because they've never heard it before. And then you influenced a whole generation of listeners by telling them that truth. Los shared that last week. It was a glorious moment. And Neil, I bet there's somewhere Neil was just smiling and didn't realize why.
If I got a chance to talk with the young people, I would also add an addendum. I would tell them, the American diet is designed to make you sick, and the American healthcare system profits off keeping you sick.
And then there's a 5-word motto for the rest of your life. Use wisely your power of choice.
Yes, sir, buddy.
Because
that's good.
Every choice you make, no matter how unimportant it may seem, is going to affect your future.
God bless you, Neil. We love you, man. Hope you have a great rest of your week.
Tea time. Don't get any on you.
Yes,
there we go.
Talk Master on Extra.
The Morning Extra, Neil Bortz, and The Kimmer Show are all online for you anytime at thepodcastpark.com. Plus all of Extra's exclusive podcasts like Ben Burnett, Janelle King, and so much more. All at thepodcastpark.com. Presented by Associated Credit Union.
Georgia Tech football season tickets are now on sale. Secure your seat in Bobby Dodd Stadium at Hyundai Field to watch head coach Brent Key and the Yellow Jackets take the field in key matchups versus Colorado, Tennessee, and ACC foes. Has a man wide open over the middle, catches the 15, and cruising in for the touchdown. 52 yards, and they made it look easy. Visit RamblinRack.com/tickets to get your tickets today. Sting 'em.
Is your entire home winter ready? Every entry point? Cold air is invading your home through your windows, entry doors, and your biggest entry point, your garage door. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage and Entry Doors. Keep that cold air out of your home and save on your heating bills with energy-efficient windows, entry doors, and garage doors from All Four Seasons. We're proud to be celebrating a quarter century of quality work and customer care. All the number 4 seasonsgarages.com.
It's March 11th, and this is your Fox Daily Snapshot. It's National Worship of Tools Day. Whether you're a professional repairman or just a handyman who works around your home, you should own and know how to take care of a basic set of tools. Chances are you may already have some tools laying around where you live, so take the time to go out to your shed or garage or down into your basement and organize and clean your tools, and if need be, buy some new ones. Also on this date, in 1892, the very first March Madness game is played in Springfield, Massachusetts, as a crowd of 200 were on hand at the Armory Hill YMCA for the first public basketball game. The final score, the students beat the teachers 5-1. And in 1918, U.S. Army mess cook Private Albert Gitchell of Fort Riley, Kansas, becomes the first documented case of Spanish flu. The global pandemic would go on to claim the lives of more than 50 million people. I'm Tushar Saxena, and that's your Fox Daily Snapshot.
Securing America.
Tuesday in Nashville, the community paid tribute to a Navy veteran with no known family. Lonnie Wayman was laid to rest during a service at the Middle Tennessee State Veterans Cemetery. Between 150 and 200 people attended the memorial in a facility that normally holds about 60. Robert Millian is the cemetery director. He praised veterans like Wayman.
They're the reason we're able to be here and celebrate the freedoms and liberties that we have.
Gary Willis is one of those who came to pay his respects.
Someone forwarded me the story about him, and it just struck me early this morning. I just really wanted to come out and support him and show him that, people do care and have a respect for the military.
He added,
just the thought of him coming out here and being laid to rest without anybody, I couldn't tolerate that. I had to be here.
Kevin Uretsky, Fox News.
Atlanta radio legends are right here on Extra 106.3. And here's what you missed from Neil Boortz.
Have you been watching the antics of John Ossoff, this hard-left Democrat senator that we have from Georgia? I take no responsibility. He consistently opposes voter ID laws. No, you shouldn't have to show an ID to vote. But, and here's something I haven't seen reported in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, if you want to attend a John Ossoff event, you have to show a picture ID. Not to vote, but to come kiss Ossoff ass.
Catch Neil's commentary every day on Extra 106.3 or listen anytime on the Extra 106.3 app. The Morning Extra, Glenn Beck, Clay and Buck, and The Kimmer Show on WFOM and W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. Extra 106.3.
Iran keeps fighting back on day 12 of the war. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
It was another sleepless night here in Tel Aviv as air raid sirens blared across the city 4 separate times, sending people into bomb shelters. Many missiles intercepted overhead.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv. Iran also, of course, targeted again.
As the Israelis and the Americans continue to degrade the Iranian regime and their ability to launch these types of attacks against Israel and regional Gulf countries. Some of the damage, not only around the capital of Tehran, but other areas. There is a concerted effort by the Americans and the Israelis to degrade Iran's ability to respond with attacks, including ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and drones.
Now, Iran has also been firing drones at neighboring countries that were shot down, and projectiles have hit a few cargo ships in the Strait of Hormuz, a key oil shipping lane, setting them on fire. The U.S. has destroyed 16 Iranian mine-laying boats. The price of oil is up this morning to about $85 a barrel. Now, an update on the Iran women's national soccer team and their dramatic exotic trip to Australia.
6 players and 1 staff member had accepted offers of Australian visas after playing in a continental soccer tournament. There were fears for the team's safety after they refused to sing the Iranian anthem before one of their games. But one woman has decided to go home after all.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage. Tornadoes have twisted areas apart in Indiana and the Lake Village area and in Illinois, south of Chicago.
We can see what looks like a piece of a house or a building, and then there's also some twisted metal debris all strewn about.
Fox Weather's Katie Burns surveying what she can in the dark and hard-hit Kankakee.
Officials say at least 7 people were hurt when this tornado moved through last night. They don't believe anyone is missing, which is fantastic news.
In Georgia, a special House election to replace Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene, who resigned Congress, has set up a runoff between Democrat Sean Harris and Republican Clay Fuller April 7th. America's listening to Fox News.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-884-1012 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-884-1012. That's 800-884-1012. What do you have to lose? Call 800-884-1012. Again, 800-884-1012.
Wake up with the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3 Atlanta.
Tug and Los on Extra 106.3. Appreciate you being here. 404-741-1230. 404-741-1230. At Extra 106.3 across the social media platforms.
Welcome, everyone.
We appreciate it.
You made it 7 o'clock.
You did. And there's so much to do and talk about and see. If you're watching on YouTube, good morning. We appreciate that, too. Yeah. Clay Fuller is the Republican advancing to the runoff. He was backed. He got the Trump kiss, which is usually pretty successful. And he will square off against Sean Harris in Georgia 14 on the 7th of April.
I'll tell you, those ads with Burt Jones getting the Donald Trump kiss, those started in pretty heavy rotation in the last 48 hours.
Yep.
It was hard to miss while I was trying to watch some local television.
That's right, exactly. Those things are everywhere, and you'll probably start hearing a lot more here on Extra. It's just part of the deal. I mean, you're already hearing Burt Jones. You're already hearing Rick Jackson, which is a guy that's a self-made billionaire. So it'll be fascinating to see how that one shakes out, I do believe. I'm interested in it because I think Rick Jackson has gotten some attention. I think Burt Jones looked like the far and away favorite in this race. And then Rick comes in, shakes things up. Chris Carr was in. Actually, he's going to be a part of the All Four Seasons home show because he's a entrepreneur as well. He owns a small business, and they featured him on there. But they obviously talked about his run for governor, too. And I passed him in the hallway, and he said to tell you hello, Los, and he said that he felt good about where he was. So right on, man. It's a busy time, man. There's a lot going on, and I'm glad that you're here with us and talking about it. Coming up, we've got a spicy Neil Bortz report. That'll be about 7:55, somewhere around there. You'll be able to get that, and he even
if you make it,
if you make it that far, yes. Which I think most people will, right?
Not everybody's going to make Christmas.
No,
not everyone's going to make the 8 o'clock hour.
They absolutely won't.
A majority will.
Yes, but if you are one of the lucky ones, then you'll get to hear this spicy Neil Bortz report. And then we're going to continue with the Hank Williams Jr. giveaway. Bo Cephas at Ameris Bank Amphitheater and Alpharetta 825 on that because I had somebody reach out to me via DM on X. When y'all doing that? Same time.
825.
Same time. We're not changed it.
It is a trivia question entirely made up by Tug.
That's right. And it's usually a really easy one.
Still don't have the answer.
Well, I've not even told you what it was.
That's what he does.
So what do you mean you still don't have the answer? I've not even told you what it was. Yes, you don't have the answer because I don't have the question quite yet. But
you want me to put the question together?
Yes. Actually, yes.
No? We'll see.
Okay. Okay, I've got one.
I'll make it difficult.
I've got one. See, I'm a little easier, so you may hope that I give the question.
What street was he born on?
Actually, I'm the kind of guy who's like, tell me your favorite color 6. Go Cephas tickets.
That's right. It's red. You win.
Oh, you're a winner.
Sorry, that's not it. Give me another color.
That's right. No, red is the right one. That's the right answer. If they would have said, I don't know, orange. Nobody likes teams with orange in their colors. Gah, it's terrible. Let's get to the first thing to know this morning.
Way out west, there's a show, the Morning Xtra, Tug Los, deep in the story, breaking news that's bold.
So I was skimming my social media, and I saw some posts from last night, and somebody was complaining about gas prices, and I said, look, in my head, I'm thinking to myself, I get it. Nobody wants to pay more for gas, whatever. But this person, not my Aunt Peg, she was also complaining on there, my sweet liberal Aunt Peg. But it got me to thinking about what would have happened had Donald Trump not been reelected. Because the plan for the Democrats were to keep gas prices really, really high. There was a reason that they were doing the things they were doing. There was a reason they were mandating that you buy a car that you don't necessarily want, that or something that you don't necessarily want to drive. Now Donald Trump's wiped that out. If you remember, the leftist, dear leader of the leftists, he told you it was going to be high, and he didn't complain once. It wasn't momentary. It was going to be a permanent part of his energy policy. Listen to this.
That, though, let's be really honest about all of this. Democrats, Biden and Obama told us that higher gas prices were necessary to fulfill the climate agenda. Yep. And so that's why we shut down nuclear power plants. That's why electricity prices went through the roof long before AI, and that's why we were paying so much for gasoline. They told us to accept that, to accept higher prices, not just for a small moment in time like this, but forever, and so we can transition to a green economy. So let's stop being phonies about this.
Stop being phonies is exactly right. I thought when I heard Charles Payne say that, because it didn't cross my mind. It hadn't crossed my mind lately. And as soon as he said it, I thought, oh my God, I had a camera
spot on.
Oh, he's freaking deadly accurate. And who are the people complaining right now? Freaking Democrats.
Yes.
The ones that said that's exactly what we want to do.
The ones that desire this.
Yes.
Are then the ones that are complaining.
Yeah. Y'all are welcoming it. During the Obama administration, during the Biden administration. You couldn't wait to make gas prices so high that people had to buy the cars you wanted them to buy. Not what the free market said, not what they wanted, what you wanted them to buy.
There's never going to be a leg that they can stand on. I mean, these are the same people that told me that when it came to Joe Biden, he's sharp as a tack.
Yeah,
he's on top of it. I'm sorry, you're never going to live that down. So it doesn't really matter what you come up with, what you say, what you complain about. The adults in the room are in charge now. And hopefully we stay in charge, because I know what happens when you get power. You act like children. Not only that, you create these weird false realities, and you root for the weirdest things that are entirely anti-American.
Including Iran to destroy the United States military. I've seen that.
I mean, you obsess over it.
All the
You're
time.
so excited about it.
The mainstream media cheering for it. We've played audio of that. We've showed you. We've illustrated that for you. When I saw this morning the person that I know that was like, oh man, I can't wait till gas is over $4 a gallon. Yeah, I can afford this, no problem. Being sarcastic. And it was funny, a person that I had always understood to be maybe center left was like, well, good thing you're not in California. And if you remember, and I would have never guessed this, and I won't say the person's name because you know them, I'll tell you later.
Jeff.
Yes.
Bill.
How'd you know?
Hillary.
It was Jeff. No, I kid. But this person, who I always thought was center left, did not vote with us, did not speak on our behalf. He was like, good thing you're not California, or good thing it wasn't 2 years ago. I physically stopped in my tracks and had to look back at the reply at the person that I know that is center left, going, wait a minute, you sound a lot like me all of a sudden.
Funny how that works.
Dude, isn't it crazy?
By the way, when the last time I fueled up, and again, the price are going to move, it was 40 cents higher. Oh, I was in the 280s.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Like, this is still not the Biden gas prices where we were basically sitting at $4 a gallon, and we were closer to $6, $7, $8 in California.
Right. The entirety of this administration was that way. It's funny how we get fat and happy, and any little thing that shakes up our little world gets us all sideways, including making sure that somebody doesn't have a nuclear weapon that can reach our shores and kill us all anyway.
Just the politics of the moment. That's all they're looking to take advantage of.
It's just it's so dumb. It's just dumb, dude. And that's the thing that's irritating to me is it comes off as dumb.
You have a memory like an elephant. So these sort of things, it's very difficult for you to just let go of. I'm the same way.
And my memory is not even nearly as good as yours, man.
I know. You still remember.
You can't forget. You can't forget. And then
my memory's the Amish version of yours. It's yours plus 30%.
That's exactly right.
And so I'm even more upset.
Which is understandable, man. It is absolutely understandable.
It's like you remember the last 10 years, and I'm sitting back going I remember the last 20 years.
Yeah, right. If we're in a race. That's definitely true. Let's move over to The View. Because I know my sweet Aunt Peg was watching this, and I bet she was clapping like a seal. She says, Sonny Hostin said on The View, Trump should lower gas prices and end homelessness in California instead of attacking Iran.
I mean, it's something, to your point, Whoopi, I've said it before, it's very easy to get into a war, very hard to get out of one. And we know that. And I don't think he has a plan. I don't even think he has concepts of a plan at this point. And I think what's... Yeah, like healthcare. The concepts of a plan on how to get out of Iran. Yeah. He's saying there is no leader. Actually, the son of the person that used to be the leader is considered
maybe
far
dead.
more
We don't know.
Is now in charge. And I think these mixed messages really are going to ultimately affect the American people, because it is estimated that this war that we started is costing the American people between $1 and $2 billion a day. And they're estimating that if it goes on for as long as, let's say, some of the other wars, about 40 days, 43 days, it could cost the American people more than $200 billion. To eradicate homelessness in this country, it would only cost $20 billion. So while using this money to wage a war, which is a regime change war, which he said he wouldn't do it, the people that voted for him wanted America first, put America first, and homelessness. Why are gas prices in California $8 a gallon?
Because of California's stupid policies all the time. They can't get out of their own way. And how much has Gavin Newsom spent on homelessness? How much has leftism spent on homelessness?
It was a $24 billion process that actually made more people homeless because it was incentivized to create more homelessness. There has never been a point where you're able to effectively get people off the street. I still remember as a kid, you used to have HBO, and HBO every single year would have a comedy special, and Whoopi Goldberg was part of that.
Yes.
With Billy Crystal and Robin Williams. And every single year, they were trying to eradicate whether it was homelessness or drug addiction, and it didn't matter. Because you know what? Some people just like being without a home. Okay? I know it sounds contrarian, but there's always going to be people that are just more comfortable ducking any responsibility and being on the street.
Comic Relief was what it was called. The HBO Comic Relief specials.
Every single year. Dude. It was always there to raise money, and it didn't do a damn thing. Okay, just the same way that Gavin Newsom, there's always going to be that portion of society. Your only hope is don't do the things that end up putting you on the street.
There's nothing Donald Trump can do to save or help gas prices in California. They have created policies, they've implemented policies that prevent anybody from helping California. And there's a lot of the West Coast that's having a big issue too, because a lot of them do the similar stuff, but California is unreachable. It's unhelpable.
And by the way, since we're on this discussion, Sonny Hostins, let's say this war ends up running for 3 weeks at $1 billion a day. All right, so that's $20 billion. That's about half of what the Somalis stole from me.
Right.
So don't tell me you're suddenly concerned about money. And that is probably a drop in the bucket to what is being stolen in California.
With the hospice thing.
The hospice story.
The fact that CBS is the one that's actually leading the charge, Bari Weiss, changing the culture there a little bit.
You had in one building alone, 89 hospice cares that were there drawing federal funds. 89 in one building. That is one of the, that's a monstrous scam.
It's going to make the huge 8 or 9, 10 billion, 19 billion. We've heard a bunch in Minneapolis.
40 billion,
it doesn't matter what
billion,
it's going to be completely overshadowed by what comes out.
And you want to tell me about spending $1 billion a day to deal with the most evil regime in the world?
Tell me how much you care, Sonny. Tell me how much you care, because I don't believe you.
I don't buy you. Dude, for one moment.
So freaking full of crap.
And she's supposed to be the enlightened one on the panel. Listen, that panel is filled with a bunch of people that are celebrities, comedians, not exactly the sharpest knives in the drawer. She's supposed to represent, I'm the attorney on the panel. And yet, how do I know more about the Constitution and the rule of law than you do? How do I
don't
know
think
more
she cares about it. Or
no, you're just playing the game.
She doesn't subscribe to it.
Your audience, and this is what's so different. I think Tug and I always have, and it's a privilege, but there's always the pressure of, let's make sure we're up to date on everything that's going out there and we can speak about it to an intelligent manner because the audience demands that. The audience of The View is sitting there with a box of tissues and just like a carton of Bluebell. Okay? Like the Frau is just sitting there just like, oh, tell me what to think today.
Yeah.
Oh. It's got to be a dumb audience because they cater to a lowest common denominator audience. It's a lot of dumb political talk.
Know it all, Mom. She says, the cows on The View.
Thank you. I called the Frau. She calls the cows. Thank you, Stephanie.
She says, we didn't start the war. 1979, ring a bell? Homelessness will always be around, and California policies are why their gas prices are high. And y'all speak faster than I can tweet.
I'm glad she's right along the same lines.
But she's exactly right, man. How does at Know It All Mom? How does Stephanie know? And how do the people on The View not have any idea? How do they not have any idea? How do they not challenge anything that they say every day? And never go back and go, I wonder if I'm even right about this. There's been plenty of times on this show that I've admitted, hey, man, I was wrong on that one. Los has even said, hey, man, there's sometimes I've been wrong on that one. Or let's wait and see how this plays out. Let's make sure we don't give bogus answers, false hope, or false fear, because I don't want to do that at all. But they don't. They never do. The only time you'll ever see them apologize is when a producer has said, we're going to get sued if you don't apologize for saying the crap that you just said about Donald Trump or conservatives or whomever, whatever it is. But my Aunt Peg and all the
Fraus or the cows. I went with the Fraus.
I know. I started to go just because Stephanie said it. I started to say it, and I was like, no, but I'm
just be like, go Fraulein.
Yes, exactly right. They could never do that. They're never going to do that. It's always going to be the same.
I mean, if you're sitting there every morning waiting for The View to tell you what you should think about politics, you're a special kind of idiot.
Yeah, let me tell you. I know
because
one,
it is, I mean,
I know one and I love her.
There is no such thing as, when we joke around about 4D chess, like, can you see 4 or 5 steps ahead? There's none of that on that show at all.
But the crazy part, Los, is I don't think they want to know.
No.
They have no desire.
That is not for that audience.
They have no desire.
It was different. So much of the magic that occurred when people listen to the Rush Limbaugh show, and Rush would always joke around about his accuracy, about telling you what was going to happen.
And he's working with half his brain tied behind his back.
So he's telling you, like, here's 2 or 3 steps down the road. Well, I think we pride ourselves on being able to do something similar. Here's what's going to happen next. Here's what the response is. The View doesn't deal with that. The View is reactionary and bottom-of-the-barrel television.
And it's always going to be that way.
It's Jerry Springer.
It is, yeah.
Of politics.
Yeah, that's right. With the midterms coming up, what do voters think about the decision to strike Iran? We know what the Frau think. We know what the View thinks. What do the actual voters? What do they think? Next on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3.
If you listen to Extra, share it with a friend. It's how we grow and how we can reach everyone in the Atlanta community that believes in the American way of life. If you value the station, help us grow by telling someone about the Extra 106.3 app.
This is Jonathan Geller at D. Geller & Son Jewelers, where we're bringing you the biggest diamond engagement and wedding event of the year. Our spring bridal event is back. For 1 weekend only, take advantage of exclusive savings, extensive designer lines, and an incredible event-only diamond selection. Plus, get event-only savings of up to $3,000 or 0% APR financing for 3 years at D. Geller & Son's spring bridal event. It's this weekend, Friday through Sunday, in both showrooms, Kennesaw and Sandy Springs. Save even more when you RSVP online at dgeller.com.
Hey, this is Matt from East Cobb. We basically bought our house from our in-laws. It was my wife's childhood home. One of the issues that we've had when we first moved in was our dog and our backyard. It was extremely shaded, could never grow grass back there. We resodded it twice. So ATL Turf Co. did an amazing job with our backyard transformation. They basically created a miniature golf hole. We have a miniature fairway. We also have a miniature little putting green. Consists of about 4 holes, total about 40 yards, so you can definitely work on your short game and your putting. After that transformation that ATL Turf Co. did for us, my father-in-law came and saw his house the way it looked after the fact of we had a putting green and a miniature golf course. Sure enough, he did the same thing with ATL Turf Co. He has a beautiful backyard, wonderful stonework, drainage, and a beautiful practice area for chipping and putting. Check him out online at atlturfco.com.
Hey, it's Kimmer. Let me ask you something. When you paid your health insurance bill this month, did you think, how am I supposed to keep paying this and I don't even use it? Feels like a waste of money. Well, that's where a lot of people are right now. It's too expensive, but you can't afford to not have it, so what are you supposed to do? Well, that's where my guy Steven comes in, the health insurance doctor. He does this every day. That's why they call him the health insurance doctor. He'll look at what you have and tell you straight if there's a better way. Here's an example. This is true. One family was paying over $3,000 a month. Now it's around $1,200 without sacrificing coverage. Does not happen for everybody, but shows it's possible. And yes, there are plans with PPO networks, no deductible options, year-round enrollment. Anybody can sit around and just complain about their premiums all year, but not everybody can do something about it. My friend Steven, health insurance doctor, 678-523-0759. You could be saving money before you even know it. The health insurance doctor, 678-523-0759. Healthinsurancedoctor.net.
Retirement should feel exciting, not stressful. But if you're close to retirement or already there, have you ever stopped to ask, do I really understand the risks to my plan? Hi, I'm David Nicholas, president of Nicholas Wealth Management. Things like market swings, higher taxes, inflation, healthcare costs, even living longer than expected can slowly chip away at your savings if you're not prepared. And even solid plans can have blind spots. That's why we offer a retirement risk analysis. It looks at how your investments, income, and taxes could hold up in real-life situations, not just on paper. It helps answer the big questions. What happens if the market drops? And will your money last as long as you do? If you're within 10 years of retirement or already retired, give us a call, 678-990-8500, or visit nicholaswealth.com to schedule a complimentary retirement risk analysis. Nicholas Wealth Management, helping you retire with clarity, confidence, and control.
Nicholas Wealth Management is an independent financial services firm. This is for informational purposes only and is not specific investment advice.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
It's Wednesday, March 11th, and here are your headlines. Georgia farmers are starting to feel the impact of the Middle East conflict, with rising fertilizer prices creating new concerns across the state. U.S. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins says the federal government is looking at possible ways to help farmers if costs continue climbing. The Georgia House has approved a $38 billion state budget that includes increased funding for literacy coaches, school safety, and other education priorities. The spending plan now heads to the Senate for consideration. And finally, Governor Brian Kemp says he is considering suspending Georgia's gas tax if fuel prices continue to rise due to the Middle East conflict. The governor says he has paused the 33-cent per gallon tax after Hurricane Helene in the past to give drivers relief during price spikes. Today's weather is mostly cloudy with a high of 81 and a low of 48. With your Extra 106.3 headlines, I'm Bryce Gobert.
I just read something that was shocking to me. I'm sure it'll be shocking to you, too. Study out of the University of North Carolina said that 0% of students go throughout the entire school day without looking at their phone. Man, I gotta say, I could have saved the University of North Carolina all kinds of money. I mean, common sense would have told me, hey, there's not a chance that there's one kid in this school that ain't touching their phone at all during the school day. 0% chance of that happening.
So in Forsyth County, God's country, there are rules by which they have access, and the kids actually appreciate the fact that they are not constantly on their phones. Now, I did get a call middle of the day from my daughter, and I'm like, oh no, what is going on here? So pick up my phone. I'm like, there must be some sort of crazy emergency.
Yeah, what's happening?
She's like, hey, what time is our flight on Thursday? Because she was talking to other girls that are all on the same, trip to St. Louis, and they were all trying to figure out when they're all getting to the airport. Yeah. I'm like, we're at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. She's like, okay, bye. That was it.
I love it. Okay, bye.
But the nice part is I don't have to worry about her being on her phone. She's on her phone during a very small time period during lunch, and that's all she's allowed access to.
Right, which I think is smart, and I think a bunch of the other cities and counties have been implementing those policies, and they're seeing good results.
It forces kids to have to talk to one another.
Absolutely.
I think that's a good thing.
Me too. But even with those kind of rules, which I support, and I think that are really smart, if they would have asked me, what is the likelihood that a kid goes through the day and does not touch their phone, I would say 0. In North Carolina, call me. Hey, just cut me a check for half. Me and Los, we can figure this thing out. We'll take half the money, give you the right answer.
You and I are going to be the last generation that grew up without knowing what it's like to have a cell phone and be in contact with anyone, anytime, over the course of the entirety of the day. My first cell phone I got when I was 18.
Yeah, I was trying to think. I was a little later than that. I'm a couple years older than you, but I was a little later than that. I think I was probably 20, 21, somewhere in there, maybe 22.
It wasn't a learned habit.
No,
I mean, by the time I'm 18, I have other habits, and I'm not. They weren't involving the phone.
They weren't necessarily good.
That's right,
but they weren't the phone. But you're right. We're the last generation.
I don't think Jesus is going to ask me about my cell phone usage at 18.
That's right. What were you doing back in 18? What were you doing in the early 20s?
Tell me about that.
Yeah, because I think you've got some answers.
Oh, no.
I'm going to need some answers here, pal. That's the way it'll work. Let's do by the numbers.
But I'll be all right as long as there's light from a math dude. Most people don't like math. They run from the sun.
So I was reliably told for the better part of about 96 hours when the bombing kicked off against Iran that, well, don't you know that 80% of the country is against this?
It was being shared everywhere.
And it was being thrown out on the media everywhere. And in my mind, I immediately, I'm on X. I'm trying to find, well, tell me this study. First off, most of the time, it takes at least a week of lag time before you can actually, when you start to conduct a survey, get good enough answers. In part because, let's face it, people can be emotional. It takes them a little bit of time to digest information and then have a retort that makes sense. So when the media was running with like 80, 86%, completely disagree with these actions in Iran, I couldn't find it. I don't believe it existed. Okay? So here's the information that we now have from NBC News. Again, not a friend of ours. NBC News has a poll. And this ended up being through Rasmussen. A poll that was asking through the phone and online, tell us about how you approve, disapprove, whether you like, dislike the actions in Iran. And remember, I was told 80, 86% against, right? All right, here's what the polling now has. 52% of likely U.S. voters approve of the decision to strike Iran. 35% strongly approve. All right, that's a strong number.
Yeah, it's a healthy number for sure.
All right, so you have a majority of Americans that agree with this act, and 1/3 of Americans strongly agree with this act, at least according to the Rasmussen polling that's been put out there by NBC News. So if you want to tell me that there is a faction of people that are against this, I would ask them, please explain why you're in the minority.
Again.
Yes.
Why have you
and I would imagine that a strongly disapprove is probably closer along the lines of the 18% of the strongly approve of Democrats.
There's a couple things that stands out to me when they say we use the phone. First of all, when is the last time you answered the phone from a number you did not recognize? Because I do that 0% of the time. 0. So anybody that is answering the phone, I'm not sure I'm not sure I trust them, because who does that? And then secondly, NBC News, they're going to poll in big blue cities more in the majority. They're always going to try to find a way to tweak the numbers to get it to say what they wanted to say. And look, everybody in polling does that. It happens across the board a lot of the time. But when you can't even get it right in your own poll?
Well, NBC News was one of the primary pushers of a majority of Americans. Well, that's not what the data's saying.
Yeah.
And now, again, with a week of lag time, we're now getting a clearer picture of what Americans think. And a majority of Americans do approve of striking Iran. And you have at least, when it comes to Americans, 3 out of 10 that strongly approve of it, close to 4 out of 10. So if you're telling me that you strongly disapprove, I'm telling you you're in the minority. And typically you're also one of the media watchers. I'm willing to bet, if I was to get out my Los crystal ball and tell you who is it that doesn't agree with this act, I will tell you it's plus 65 white liberal cat lady women, probably with worms.
Wow.
They got from cats.
That's quite specific.
Chewing up their brains.
Oh, yeah. That's quite specific.
That's why you got to be on that dewormer, baby.
But I would ask, Los, who's been actually contacted about a poll? I've never been in my whole life.
I've only gotten text message polls. And even then, I don't partake.
Then I immediately hit stop.
Yeah.
And then it
report and junk.
Right. And then it unsubscribes you. It like there's a person on Twitter that says I'm 70, very active politically. I've never been polled in my life. Polls are lies told by pollsters, aka liars, to sway an opinion.
Factual.
I don't see anything wrong with that statement. And I'm telling, dude, I'm almost 50, and I've never ever. It's the first time I've ever said that out loud. Wow.
As two men in our 40s, neither one of us have been polled in this way.
Ever. So.
And that's a person that's 70.
That's what he says.
I got 30 more years of runway, and I still haven't been polled.
Never been polled. Politically active, never been polled. I don't know who they call. I don't know how. So when I see polling, I'm automatically dismissive, and if you are too, it's understandable. But
well, I think it's factual when we bring it up. Most polling is based on trying to create some sort of fervor or to hurt your fervor. If you're excited about something, there will always be polling that'll tell you how to dampen it.
Yep.
Or if you're not excited about something, here is polling that's going to get you to go, oh, I can't believe that's happening. It is meant to affect you emotionally, predominantly.
There is an interesting conversation that took place between President Donald Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance. And people are going to try to blow this out of proportion. People are going to try to say this says something that it doesn't, much like polling. I actually think it's a really good thing that they had this conversation. Donald Trump said on Monday that he and Vice President Vance had slightly different views on the decision to attack Iran alongside Israel. This is being reported by Just the News. And he said this during the press conference, the one in Miami at Trump National Doral. And if you recall, this is not that abnormal for this administration, which I think is good and healthy. Go back to the infamous signal chat.
The bombing of the Houthis.
That's exactly right. What did J.D. Vance say? Let the Europeans handle it. That's their backyard. I love the fact that he's willing to say, I don't care. I mean, I'm going to support you. I am. But here's where I stand on this. The fact that they can have differing opinion shows a healthy relationship, and I think it shows a healthy administration.
I think this is the falsehood that the media portrays when it comes to the Trump administration. When you had the Biden administration, everyone was in lockstep around crazy.
Always.
So it didn't matter if you had a man who was stealing women's luggage or you had a Secretary of State who was way out there. If you happened to have a woman, a man who was parading around as a woman who was trying to tell you about your health, all of it was in lockstep. Like, nothing to see here. Yeah, you found cocaine in the White House. Whatever. Yeah, there's boobs out on the White House lawn. Don't worry about that.
With that man.
Okay, with that man. What the media does not understand is that this particular administration does have a difference of opinion, and the only thing that is demanded of it is loyalty. So that you can have a difference of opinion with Donald Trump. In fact, I think that he probably enjoys the fact. I mean, he's the only person I know that in modern times, and since basically the last 40 to 50 years of politics, where I know the president has brought in people from the opposing party to be part of his cabinet. That doesn't happen.
Of course it did. Certainly didn't happen in the Biden or Obama administration. Didn't happen even in the Bush administration.
Never.
Probably the Clinton administration. I don't recall anybody from the other party being involved.
So he just expects there's going to be a difference of opinion. But as long as you're loyal, you can have that difference of opinion. There's a reason why J.D. Vance is the odds-on favorite for 2028. He can look at the president and say, I don't agree, but I will support you.
Crazy thing is that Donald Trump, though he's called all of these names, none of them are right, and everybody knows that. Think about the relationship, Los, because this is what it reminds me of, the relationship that he has with Mamdani, who I think is so bad for America. I think it's so bad for the biggest city in the United States of America. But what has Donald Trump tried to do with even Mamdani? He's tried to work with him. He's had him to the White House a few times. He even said in their first encounter, when the press was there, he was like, go ahead, you can say something bad about me. They expect you. It's fine. And he laughed it off.
Go ahead, you can say it.
It's fine. And he's had him back there since. And he said, I want to work with this guy. I want to figure out a way to work with this guy. We always hear about people telling you how much they want bipartisanship. Do they really? I don't know if they really do. I think it's easy to say. I think it makes sense to say it. I understand why people say it. I don't know that they really believe it. Donald Trump actually tries to act on that bipartisanship.
That is the silly part about the media. The media will ask for bipartisanship, yet when the Democrats are in charge, they want zero bipartisanship.
Nothing to do with it.
They want nothing to do with it. As soon as they're out of power, they're the ones clamoring, if we could only agree with one another, bipartisanship, why are you all so mean? Because every now and then, Daddy has to step in and tell you what is going on. And Donald Trump is your daddy.
Whether you like it or not.
Whether you like it or not. He's not my president, but he is your daddy.
Oh, he is. And he's your president.
And he's got nearly 3 more years. He's not my president. I'm not listening to him, but he's your daddy.
That's a nice thing.
And Daddy is running the show. So just deal with it.
Axios, they even called the relationship, just to accent this topic with Trump and Mamdani. A person that he vehemently disagrees with, I vehemently disagree with, Los, you probably too. Axios calls it a bromance. You know, they likened it to that. They get along so well that it's like a bromance. Do you think that's because of Mamdani working, or do you think that's because of Trump working? Because Mamdani ain't working with anybody. Going back to your point, when they're in power, they will not cooperate. They will not be bipartisan. Yet when they're out of power, they complain about it. I don't believe that's Mamdani extending the olive branch. I believe that it's Donald Trump extending the olive branch.
Well, it's important for New York because it is and
Trump knows that.
It's a major city. It dictates the view of the rest of the world when New York is tidy, when it's strong, when it's running effectively. And I think Donald Trump looks at it as the children have taken it over, And how do we keep you from wrecking it? I mean, we just had a problem with just trying to get snow and garbage off the streets, and Mom Donnie has been in charge for 2 months.
You made sure you had your ID. Just not to vote, but to go shovel snow, which is humorous in and of itself. Funny how it always comes back to communism for Democrats, even when it's wrapped in a Christian flag. Next on the Morning Extra.
Extra 106.3 Sports, powered by 680 The Fan.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Wednesday, March 11th. From the NBA, the Atlanta Hawks have now won 7 straight games after a home win against the Dallas Mavericks last night, 124-112. Jalen Johnson goes for 27 points. Around the league, the second highest scoring effort in league history occurred last night. Bam Adebayo of the Miami Heat scored 83 points in the Heat's 150-129 victory over the Washington Wizards. Deals around the NFL become official as of 4 o'clock this afternoon as the new league year will get underway. The Falcons are expected to announce the signing of former Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa as he will become a free agent this afternoon. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina. Hi, it's Los, here with Tom Mitchell, the honest car guy. Tom, you are changing the way people are buying their next pre-owned car or truck. How are you doing it?
You know, Los, we found a better way for customers to buy a car. An honest way, a very transparent way. You pay what we pay plus our honest fee.
How do you prove that?
We even prove it to you by giving you a copy of the bill of sale at the end of the deal.
How much can people save when they buy their next vehicle with the honest car guy?
I've saved people upwards of $20,000 and $30,000. I mean, it really depends on the year, the make, the model of the car, and the price of the car. You know, on a $15,000 car, I can't save you $20,000. We can probably save you $2,000 or $3,000. But it's through the course of the whole sale. The big one here that people don't realize, the financing. You go into the dealership, they tell you your rate's 9%, or really it's probably 7% because they're allowed to make 2 points on there. The honest car guy, you'll save an average of $5,000 to $10,000 depending on the price of the car.
Folks, if you want to save thousands on your next pre-owned car or truck, try the honest car guy. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or honestcarguy.com.
Time now for the RetireWise Report. James Parker here with financial advisor Sean Maloney, founder and CEO of RetireWise. Many people assume their taxes will automatically go down once they retire and stop collecting paychecks. Sean, is this a dangerous assumption?
It can be because, you know what, lower taxes in retirement can be a myth. It's not always true, right? Remember, up to 85% of your Social Security benefits could be taxed, right? Your traditional IRA and 401k income is 100% taxable, so that needs to be accounted for. And that's why it's so important to find ways to reduce or eliminate your taxes wherever possible.
Tell us about the offer you have for our listeners.
Hey, look, now is the time to start looking ahead and identifying your tax liabilities in retirement. Well, we have a great resource for you guys. We have what's called the Retire Happy Framework Toolkit. You can get a copy today by calling or texting the word WISE to 770-802-2200. My team helped put together this just for you, and it's a complimentary guide. And the center of this is a copy of my latest book, The Priority of Retirement. It has chapters on everything from Social Security to investments to income planning. We include guides in there as well as on strategies for income planning, for taxes, and even dealing with recessions in retirement, among other things. So if you want to get this information in your hands today, call or text the word WISE to 770-802-2200. That's 770-802-2200.
Take advantage of this offer. Get your Retire Happy Framework today. Just text WISE to 770-802-2200. And the team at RetireWise will get you your Retire Happy Framework right away. So just call or text WISE to 770-802-2200. Investment advisory services made available through AE Wealth Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Firm does not provide tax services.
Oh no, what is that sound?
It's our rejection detection system. It's showing that several men across Georgia are being denied intimacy by their partners due to ED.
How can this be?
Well, it's more common than you think. As men age, their bodies change. And unfortunately, once they get over 50, some things don't work like they used to.
So what do we do?
There's only one thing to do. We need to get them to Dr. Eric Deal at Total Body Therapy of Georgia. He can fix ED problems.
But how?
At Total Body Therapy of Georgia, they are experts in the P-shot, testosterone replacement, regenerative therapy, and Trimex to create an erection and more.
Hi, this is Dr. Eric Deal from Total Body Therapy of Georgia. Did you know that 50% of men over 50 struggle with some form of ED? Guys, it won't get better on its own. When it's not hard, it's really hard. But I can help you today. Call us at Total Body Therapy of Georgia at 404-777-1911 or learn more about us online at tbtofga.com.
There's a moment every dog owner dreads when you realize that your dog can't climb the stairs anymore. They're standing at the bottom, looking up at you with those eyes, wanting to follow, but their joints just won't let them. But what if those stiff, painful joints could be reversed? Greetings, naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black, Amazon #1 best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. And here's the truth about joint stiffness. It's inflammation. All dog food is missing the nutrients that fight inflammation. But Rough Greens delivers exactly what your dog needs. It's packed with omega oils and probiotics and enzymes and over 20 live vitamins and minerals. It's all natural. It's made in the USA, and tens of thousands of senior dogs are now climbing stairs, jumping on furniture, and moving like they did years ago. And your dog could be one of them. Get a free Jumpstart trial bag for your dog today. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. Use promo code BECK. That's RUFFgreens.com. Discount code BECK. Rough Greens. So good, your dog will ask for it by name.
Tug and Los start your day the right way on the Morning Extra.
Get this. Cousin Brittany just texted me and said, I had to scan my ID to change my Yahoo password the other day. Oh, my Lord. That seems like that actually seems like a bit of an overreach.
I'd feel weird about that one, Brittany.
Yeah. Are you sure you're logged into the right website?
Brittany, were you looking into adult content?
That's right. What are you providing ID for?
Because there's certain states now that require legal ID. That's why I don't go to those.
That's exactly right. I'm not doing it anymore.
You've taught me the error of my ways.
That's right. I'm out.
The Morning Extra, 6 to 10 a.m. on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
Tug and Los until 10 on Extra 106.3.
Can't help it, your cousins surfing that adult content.
I'm telling you.
Middle of the day.
It never even crossed my mind.
But she has a legal ID, so she can.
Yeah, Cousin Brittany is looking at things she ain't supposed to be.
Don't want to see her browser history.
No, sirs. It was set alarms off.
Very nice lady.
No, very nice. So she just has clearly an interest that I never knew about. I kid. Morning Extra. Friend of the show, G Van Fleet. We had her on. It's been a while now, but she was on, and it was such a great conversation. She's such a wise woman because she escaped the CCP. And she said she heard the same mantra that James Tallarico is selling right now back in the CCP. So it's not technically a flashback, but it's kind of for her, this is a bit of a flashback. She says she's watching history repeat itself.
The reason poverty exists in the wealthiest country on earth is not because we can't feed the poor. It's because we can't satisfy the rich. But what we can do is tax trillionaires out of existence. And use that money to guarantee food, healthcare, and housing for every single American.
All right, first off, there's no such thing as trillionaires except for the American people. He's actually talking about taxing the American people as a collective out of existence.
He also sounds like Sonny Hostins when he's talking about homelessness. How much have we thrown at homelessness and gotten nowhere? Throwing money at a problem does not solve a problem at all. It just creates a place where fraud can take place. And we're seeing that across the country, too. What she said, G Van Fleet had a quote talking about the way that she hears and the message that she hears Tallarico saying. She said, decades ago, the CCP told poor Chinese peasants the same story, that they were poor because of those landlords that were rich, promised them free land, every one of them. Fast forward to today, all the land belongs to the state, and the CCP elite controls trillions of dollars of wealth. That is from a woman that survived it.
When you start to hear that someone is telling you, I know who your enemies are, and I'm going to get even for you. You give me this power, I'm going to get even for you. That is the first step. That is the seductive leg of communism.
Well, because it sounds so good. You're like, you're going to
you're going to punish my enemies for me?
You're going to fix all this for me too?
That sounds great.
Yeah, it does. Sounds really good. If it sounds too good to be true, probably is.
It typically has always been that way. Now, you can have people that will talk about, for instance, hey, we're going to try and level the playing field. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to create the economic conditions to do it. You will be able to rise and fall on your own merit. That's different than, hey, there's billionaires and they're taking advantage of you and we are going to tax them out of existence.
We're going to take their money, give it to you. We're going to spread it around. That way everybody has some.
Telling you. Taralico, I told you, he's got the vibes of creepy Sunday school teacher, creepy youth minister. All he is a wolf in sheep's clothing. He is no different than your everyday communist. He just happens to have a different level of camouflage, and he's wrapped up in, I believe in Jesus just like you.
Yep. He's using the faith to be a deceiver. And I think that's the most direct. I think it's the most telling. I think it's the most serious description of that man, a deceiver. And in the church, somebody that's a deceiver, come on. Who does that lead you to?
Some might refer to that as a demon.
Might be.
But that's the game he's playing, and it's working on a certain amount of people that want to hear this stuff. And unfortunately, it's going to be a race where everybody tells me every few years, hey, Texas is going to flip. Texas is not going to flip. It's going to whoever comes out of the Paxton-Cornyn discussion, which, by the way, have you noticed? When Paxton offered, I will leave the race if we vote on the SAVE Act, and yet it still isn't happening.
Of course it's not.
After he spent $4 million, Cornyn spent $70 million, and they're in a runoff. Paxton's going to win if Texas shows up and takes care of its business, and Paxton will beat Taralico as well. But you see the game that's being played here, where the only response now from the Democrats is, let's go with generic youth minister, wrap him up in Christianity, and maybe that'll allow us to then take Texas.
He talked about, taken from the trillionaires, which Los has noted doesn't even exist. That's just the taxpayers. But let's just back it off to billionaires. Maybe a billionaire like Starbucks founder Howard Schultz. When Washington State announced their new income tax, he had a message on social media that he shared and said, oh, by the way, me and my family moving to Miami. We're picking up shop. He called it a new, let me find a new, I have the exact, I've lost my place. Anyway, he called it a new adventure, essentially. He softened the blow a little bit, but truly, he's getting out of there. The Democrats passed this crazy tax on people making a lot of money.
Yeah, they wanted a 5% tax on top of everything else that they're already taxing them on.
And what did he do? I'm out of here. He said 40 years ago, we came from New York City to Seattle in 1979 in their Audi along with their Golden Retriever. Today, we're headed to Miami.
Oh, is it weird that the upwardly mobile continue to leave?
And he did it conveniently on the day that they announced that this tax would be passed. And then on this, on top of this, Starbucks, the corporate headquarters. Hello, Nashville. Hello, Music City, USA. Hello, Tennessee. Hello, Red State. So, Starbucks going to Nashville, going to Tennessee. Yamaha coming to Georgia. There's all kinds of movement all of a sudden. All kinds of people leaving these places that you can't afford to live. If you're that wealthy and you think, I'm not paying this, I can't afford to live here, God, I can't imagine what's going to happen to the people that are left.
This, and we brought up G. Van Fleet to start, this is the great mistake. The communists think that they're actually living in true communism. We'll just lock them down. We'll put up fences. They won't go anywhere. This is still America, where if you have the money, you'll just move on to the next place. No papers, no fuss. You just leave. And yet the communists then looking around going like, wait a minute. What? How did you just leave? It's like, because it's not as communist as you want it to be.
When the wall came down, which side did people run to? The side that was communist or the side that was free? I'll let you answer your own question. I'll let you answer my question. I'm sure you know the answer. When we continue on Extra 106.3, CNN tried a CYA, but the internet is forever. Next on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3.
Time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
Okay, it was watching the news last night that suddenly it occurred to me I'm just fed up. Another story on the news about rising gas prices. Do you realize what we're facing right now? And you're pissing and moaning about gas prices? Which would you rather have? Expensive gas for a couple of weeks or Iran with nuclear weapons? Good grief, people. Get a grip. We're not dealing with a religion here. We're dealing with a death cult. These monsters have spent the last 47 years yelling, "Death to America." Finally, we have a president that will respond to that with a very serious, "Oh, yeah?" You worry about gas prices. 30,000 demonstrators in Iran executed, shot in the streets by Iranian goons because, well, they didn't want to wear their hijabs or whatever they call it. They executed how many thousands of people? If the person to be executed for these demonstrations was a woman and happened to be a virgin, i.e. young woman, they would rape them to make them unclean so that they could be executed and not get their moment in paradise. They pledge that all unbelievers will be slaughtered when you find them. If you have an ounce of sense, which thanks to our education system you might not have, you would know that as soon as they got an operational nuclear weapon, they would launch it against either Israel or the United States. We have a president who's trying to prevent that, and you're worried about gas prices. They're still not as high as they were under your precious Joe Biden. You go out and buy a brand new car you can't afford with $700 a month payments because it's so cool, and then you worry about gas prices. I'm fed up. I really am. Are the American people really this stupid? Get behind the president, get behind his effort to rid the Middle East of these Looney Tunes. Suck it up, carpool, walk, ride a bicycle, and please stop bitching about gas prices when our country is facing much more serious problems than that, i.e. Muslims. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3. Now I'll go calm down.
Fox on Tech. Is that really President Trump in that video? YouTube wants to help you figure that out. In the brave new world of artificial intelligence, you've likely come across videos of political leaders. Many of these videos are intended to be gags, especially ones showing the embellished dance routines of Vice President J.D. Vance. These are obviously not real, but can be quite humorous. But that same tech can and is being used to create phony videos of policymakers intended to fool you and to make you react politically. Now, YouTube says it will work to identify such videos using the same tech as its Content ID used to detect phony videos of existing creators. And if a potential deepfake of a politician is identified, it will ask the poster to review it and maybe take it down. On YouTube's blog, YouTube pushes for better legal frameworks to curb deepfakes while promoting creators' rights. With Fox on Tech, I'm Eben Brown, Fox News.
WFOM and W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. The 8 a.m. hour is brought to you by Central Heating and Air.
Another warning to Iran.
I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. From President Trump as the U.S. keeps targeting Iranian boats laying mines in a key shipping lane, destroying 16 so far.
This comes as the Wall Street Journal reports less than 10 mines have been laid in the Strait of Hormuz, this critical oil passage where 20% of the world's oil passes through. President Trump overnight in a post on Truth Social threatened the regime if they do lay these mines in this critical thoroughfare.
Iran's also targeted cargo ships in that strait, hitting at least 3, setting them on fire, also sending drones into Gulf countries shot down by Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE. And Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv also reports Iran's targeted Israel again, too.
New interceptions took place overnight over the heart of Tel Aviv, sending hundreds of thousands into bomb shelters 4 separate times. There is a significant amount of damage in Iran, though, as these U.S. and Israeli strikes continue, going after not only these launching positions, but also IRGC positions and other leadership just outside the capital of Tehran.
And there are several reports that Iran's new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, was wounded in his legs, the New York Times says, at the start of the war, around the same time his father, the ex-supreme leader, was killed. Iran's national women's soccer team is making its way home with 6 fewer members after a controversial trip to a tournament in Australia where the women refused to sing their national anthem before a game, angering Iran.
Australian federal police removed the 5 players to a safe location where they were granted humanitarian visas. A 6th player and a team staffer also decided to stay in Australia, but one of those women spoke to her teammates and decided to return home instead.
Fox's Brian Yennis. There's tornado damage in 2 states and casualties.
We know 2 people now confirmed dead in Indiana from the severe storms. The tornado that hit there, likely the same tornado that hit this town in Illinois, is about 22 miles away from us.
Fox Weather's Katie Byrne in Kankakee. America's listening to Fox News.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-884-1012 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-884-1012. That's 800-884-1012. What do you have to lose? Call 800-884-1012. Again, 800-884-1012.
The news and talk I can trust, Extra 106.3.
Tug and Los on Extra 106.3. Good morning. Appreciate you. Sinners. Yes, we've learned that there is lots of sinning going on in this building. And
that's what we're here to do.
In and around that's been pointed out.
We're here to walk around and point out those on the sales floor or in other parts of programming. Just go, sinners.
Sinners. I love it.
I'm not casting the first stone.
No. I would never. It'd be a terrible idea to do that.
I already told you. Got my own stuff going on.
No, dude, don't we all?
But it is kind of funny. It makes you feel a little uncomfortable.
Dude, it's hysterical.
Especially when you tell Baseball Jesus, Chris Domino.
You can just tell everybody what you ask him.
I said, Baseball Jesus. I said, are you celibate during the season?
And he mumbled something, and I was like, all right, I'm out of here.
He said, I got to get back to night work.
That's right.
Because he's used to working, obviously, with the baseball team and covering the Braves and doing it in the way that he does on the Braves radio network.
Yep.
And so we're still a few more weeks out before Baseball Jesus is doing his thing every night with the Braves.
And I am ready for it. I'm ready to watch him in action.
Him from sinning.
Yes, it will, hopefully.
There he is.
Time to praise the one who's always watching.
Have we heard this before?
Yeah.
We have.
Baseball Jesus.
I love it.
That's when he joins us.
That's right. Oh, yeah. For when we get to that point. Because surely we'll have at least the first week, or the first opening day, maybe.
Yeah, I'd imagine that Chris Domino will roll through.
I would want him
Talk a little Braves baseball with us to get the mood right.
Yes, I love it. So, there's nobody better than Chris Domino when it comes to what you want to know about the Braves and how they're going to go about their business and what are they going to do to, help themselves now that everybody's hurt and in a bad spot and nobody's Nobody's ready for the season. It doesn't seem. I hate the Braves going into the season just so banged up already. It's not. Makes you feel like, this probably ain't going to work.
At least we have a manager that knows they haven't already qualified for the next round.
Well, there's that. That's a bit of discussion down the hall. The fact that the manager wasn't sure about the rules of the World Baseball Classic, which it is
they're very confusing.
A little convoluted. I'll agree with that 100%. I agree. They are. But does seem like it's going to be something you want to know.
If I may.
Yes, please. Of course.
So I choose to think of everything in terms of the after-season DVD. And you're like, okay, what do you mean? Every single time you have like a great story, a great season, there's always here's the DVD that you get with your Sports Illustrated.
I got one in the drawer at my desk right now for the 21 season.
Okay, so you have the DVD that tells the season.
Yeah.
Right? Now, they're not prevalent anymore. It's not like they're being made on a regular basis. But I choose to think about when the championship season for 2026 and the Atlanta Braves are heading down Peachtree for the parade.
Woo!
The DVD is going to start with the injuries in camp.
Sure, absolutely. They had no idea that 2026 would turn out the way it did.
What a tough start.
Everybody's
spring
hurt.
training.
It was awful.
The Braves lost 2 of their top 5 starters and their everyday left fielder / DH and their starting shortstop and their potential 5th, 6th man in the rotation.
That's right.
But then the story then turns into, but young people then step forward. And
then the wise move of the general manager, bringing in folks to fill in.
One of my favorite ones, the 2014 Spurs, who ended up beating the Miami Heat. It starts with the 2013 season, how they blew it in Game 6.
Yeah.
And so it starts with here is heartbreak. And they started 2014 with, we are going to indulge in this so that it is the thing that creates that fire that has us win it. And so, yeah, you need that stuff.
Dude,
and by the way, most of the time you're not going to win.
No, you're right. Dude, it's only one team winning.
So we're only mentally making the DVD if we win.
See, that's the thing, right? It seems like a little bit of self-protectionism, which I do regularly. I automatically, in every instant in life, and people make fun of me and say I'm glass half empty, and I'm not. I'm pretty optimistic most of the time. But I always expect the worst, hope for the best.
The 2021 season, when the Braves won the World Series, if you look at where they were at the Major League Baseball trade deadline, they were starting a minor league outfield. Ronald Acuna Jr. was done for the year.
Yep.
They didn't have enough bats, and yet they brought in a handful of players, and that ended up being like the launching pad for them to go win a World Series. They were not the best team in baseball at any point until the last game of the season.
Which is the one that mattered.
Yep.
I love it, and I hope it continues that way. Morning Extra, Extra 106.3, 8 o'clock hour, brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier experts. Let's do the first thing to know this morning.
They want you awake, informed, and ready to fight for the facts of the day in the land of the free. Now your sleepyhead nation needs your wake-up call. A mighty dose of reality coming in strong. Soon as the sun cracks the horizon so high. Man, we got the story, no time for a lie.
Hank Williams Jr. tickets.
Put a boot in your ass, courtesy.
We got those coming up at 8:25. 8:25. Hank Williams Jr. tickets for the show Saturday, June 27th at Ameris Bank Amphitheater in Alpharetta. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com, but why buy them when you can win them on the Morning Extra? So, CNN.
I have the question for today.
Oh, dude, did you come up with it? Okay. Yes. I love it. All right, let's do it. This makes my day. I think it's fantastic.
I think we roll screenless until we get it.
Okay. It's fine by me, man. I'm all about it. I think it's real smart. I want to go to a tweet that CNN put out. But they were so embarrassed by the article about the Islamist bombers in New York City, they pulled it down saying it missed the mark. Yeah, it did. Like everything else y'all post. Listen to this correction. This is how they said it. A post regarding the 2 individuals arrested for throwing homemade bombs outside of New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani's home failed to reflect the gravity. Therefore, it has been deleted. It was two leftists that wrote this. They tried to disguise what was actually happening. They have pronouns in their bios, that kind of person. It sounded eerily similar to me, Los, because we talked about right after the war started, when the Ayatollah Khomeini was killed, how Washington Post and New York Times, how they wrote articles talking about his fluffy beard.
And he loves poetry.
He loves poetry and Western art and culture.
He's a murderer.
I don't give a damn about that. So the fact that CNN felt like, oh, God, now we've stepped in it. This is real bad. We're going to take it down. I'm going to read you what they actually took down. The two Pennsylvania teenagers crossed into New York City Saturday morning for what could have been a normal day, enjoying the city during abnormally warm weather. But in less than an hour, their lives would drastically change as the pair would be arrested for throwing homemade bombs at an anti-Muslim protest outside of Mayor Zohran Mamdani's home. Here's what we know so far. Again, just this, it was like watercolor painting is what they were doing.
It was unfortunate. They just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time
and brought bombs with them.
A couple teenagers made a mistake.
Who would have thought?
Dude, and by the way, threw it at an anti-Muslim. No, you threw it at the people that you were trying to kill.
That's exactly right.
They were interested in stopping illegal immigration.
And you, being the violent people that you are, decided to throw homemade bombs into the crowd. And the crazy thing is, the people that were there to support you, you used them as the catapult to throw it. And they look surprised some way or other.
They look shocked that, hey, wait a minute. And I think the history is interesting. When you look back at what happened in Iran during the 1970s, how the radical Islamists got together with the leftist, communist-oriented people and thought, well, we'll form like an alliance. And then we'll get rid of the previous leadership and we'll be in charge. And what the leftists found out pretty quickly is the jihadists don't have any room for you. In fact, they're going to put you in camps.
They're willing to use you in a moment, but as soon as that moment is done, they hate your guts.
So while the leftists are on the street with their bullhorns talking about how everyone's welcome in the city of New York, here's the jihadist using him as a ramp to push off him and throw bombs. Because you know what? Your fervor ain't as strong as his.
Unbelievable to me that CNN pulled it down. To be completely honest, I was surprised that they pulled it down.
I think that
it goes right along with what they believe and say and do all the time.
The backlash. I mean, it was so brazen.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I could talk about, for instance, Jeffrey Dahmer was iconic within the gay community. He had a hunger to be part of long-term success in the gay community. It's like, no, he was a cannibal who ate people. He was a gay man that collected other gay men and ate them. Okay, like they made it flowery and rosy. I remember reading one of them that was somebody was talking about how this student from Cal Berkeley, who moved out to the woods and would just start sending packages to people in the interest of explaining to them that technology was not their friend. Yeah, it's called Ted Kaczynski. It's a Unabomber. You know, it's like you can always create this flowery language around people that are violent and out there.
But that's what they've done.
Regularly
do. And there's the old, the one that you've seen over the years, or at least I've seen a million times on social media. It's the iconic photos of Pearl Harbor being bombed. And it says mostly peaceful protest by the Japanese.
Right.
And I've seen that in like places like the Babylon Bee and wherever.
Yes, these teenagers that showed up over in Hawaii and they accidentally dropped some bombs.
They do it with such regularity. And I assume they just got ratioed to the moon and they're like, oh, yes.
Yeah, it had to have been so extreme.
But I think it even looks worse because you don't have the courage of your convictions. Like somebody doesn't believe in the things that were written in there. Somebody in your ownership, in your management group, in leadership doesn't actually believe it. They're like, oh, God. Once I look down at this, I'm like, oh, no. They don't have the courage of their convictions. They don't believe the things that they're saying half the times. I'm not convinced of it. I think they feel like they know who the audience is, so we're going to feed them.
I don't recall ever going back. Like, I've deleted a tweet in the moment where I'm like, oh, I didn't like how that was written, or oh, that didn't exactly. Let me change it and let me put it back out there. I don't recall since 2011, since being on X, ever going back the next day and saying, well, yeah, I should get rid of that.
Yeah.
Like, it's never happened.
Right.
I think because in the moment, I'm like, well, let me make sure it says what I want it to say.
Well, but we talk about being right, not being first.
Yeah. I'm not even concerned about so much being right. It's like, does this surmise what I think? And the problem was, for CNN, it did such a good job of surmising what they think that they had to take it down.
We've revealed too much.
We have shared too much here.
I guess it could be that.
Like, you now know, here is what we think of this. We created flowery language around terrorism. Maybe we should take it down to pretend we don't support or cover for terrorists.
But it happens over and over again. You'll see it on places like MS Now. You'll see it at the Washington Post. You'll see it at the New York Times. You'll see it at CNN. They're going to continue. That's why, if there is ever another opportunity for me to say, turn the notifications on your phone off. The ones that come from like Apple News. What was the number you had a while back of articles? Left versus right.
They had over 400 articles that have been posted over a weekend time period for Apple News. Not one of them had come from a right-leaning source or even a right-oriented source. It was all left-wing news, all 400 articles during a weekend period.
My notification center this morning, just to prove the point, is a notification from Xtra that Bryce sent out earlier talking about things that are on the show. Verse of the day, a weather notification, expected to stop raining, 8:31. That was yesterday. So it tells you, and that's the third one down, that tells you how few notifications I get. Why? Because I don't want that bull crap convincing me. After you hear things for so long, it's easy for you to fall into them, easy for you to believe them. And here's something that I don't know that I think has been talked about near enough. It's how the Dems still have most of DHS shut down. You're seeing people starting to get frustrated at the airports, obviously. But if you drill down on this, if we have sleeper cells like we expect that we do, and I think the number that I've seen from DHS is like 18,000. They feel like they've narrowed it down to, they know where there's 18,000 people that came in the 20 million. And they've narrowed it down. They feel like they know who they are. Not that they know where they are, but they know who they are. So you have, let's say, the sleeper cells. Then you have the Islamists, like the ones we just talked about in New York City, the one that shot up the bar in Austin, Los. Now's not the time to close the DHS, yet the Democrats are completely happy doing it. They're completely fine with doing it.
They've made it a leverage point. They're trying, and of all things to go for, they're trying to ensure that ICE is nowhere near polling centers. Now, why would ICE need to be near polling centers, as we've covered so colorfully? Well, if you just want to make sure that no one's voting illegally. Now, let's also point out, I don't believe that is a significant threat. The mail-in voting, the fraudulent voting, the amount of times where people register under a bridge and there's like 50 people registered to vote from underneath a bridge, that is far more problematic. Which the SAVE Act is pushing the idea that, hey, you got to show up and you got to have ID. That's what you have to do in order to vote. And so it might eliminate so many of the problems moving forward. But the fact that the Democrats are still concerned with the idea of illegals not being able to vote or that they might be intimidated by ICE, that's what they're willing to possibly threaten the lives of American citizens from sleeper cells so they can establish that.
The other thing, when's the last time you saw an ICE headline, ICE news on...
Oh, they've moved away from that.
Dude, ran, lickety-split.
Well, it was a losing issue.
It's not moving the needle for them, man.
Not at all.
And so now...
They found the off-ramp.
That's right. Now they're trouncing on Iran. You had the senator from Arizona, Senator
Mark
Kelly.
Kelly?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Senator Kelly. He was saying, no, there's no way the United States can win this. It's terrible. And they're creating unnecessary trouble for American citizens to try to gain political points. I know that's what they're trying to do. I want you to hear from Scott Jennings. He called out the boneheads in the CNN audience. And it's so true. You're going to lock out DHS, most people that run, the TSA, Coast Guard, to get political points, knowing you already know that ICE is funded through 2029, yet you're still going down this path.
But does anyone here believe that we should keep the Department of Homeland Security, that's the name of it, indefinitely shut down to try to force ICE policy changes on an agency that's already funded until 2029, when you acknowledge there are sleeper cells, when we all see radical Islamic terrorists throwing IEDs in New York City, when we saw a radical Muslim terrorist shoot up a bar in Austin, when we had tornadoes in Oklahoma and Michigan this weekend, when we have TSA lines of 5 hours in airports, we have all these things going on. Is it even remotely reasonable?
Yeah, it's not crazy. They're arguing back. No, it's not crazy to keep DHS closed with all that stuff going on. Dude, how insane do you sound? If you're Abby Phillips and that whole hee-haw gang on CNN, you sound like boneheads. You sound so out of touch. You sound like you have no clue what's going on.
You're completely discounting threats. Okay. And then I know how this game is always played, and it's the frustrating end of it. It's not even hypocrisy. It's just responsive journalism, or whatever version of journalism you want to call that. As soon as we have a terrorist attack, like had it been successful, what those two people tried to pull off in New York, it would have been Trump's fault for having bombed Iran.
Or, additionally, it would be Trump's fault because he's not giving us our way, so we had to close down DHS.
Yes.
They would find a way to pivot and spin it back to him.
It's always going to be that. And that's fine. Again, just as long as you identify the game, that's it. Identify the game.
I bet it backfire. I think this is going to backfire on them.
Because
just like the last shutdown.
To me, I just look at it, and I've had this very simple point about this sort of stuff. I know your game. I'm not going to give in to you.
Don't care.
I don't care.
Do not care. They've decided they don't want to protect the country in a time of war because they don't want to enforce immigration laws. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm seeing.
In the way that the left really enjoys school shootings. Nobody loves school shootings like the left, because then they can push all of their gun control stuff, which, by the way, is just fundraisers. They don't want to control guns any more than the NRA does. Okay? It's just fundraising. They desperately would love a terrorist attack on this country. They would love it. They would be rubbing their hands together. That CNN newsroom would be salivating over it.
The fear is that one thing could spell doom for the Democrats for decades to come. Next on Extra.
Stream Atlanta's only conservative voice anywhere you go with the Extra 106.3 app. Now equipped with Apple CarPlay. That means you'll always have Extra's crystal clear HD stream right on your dashboard no matter where you are. Download the all-new Extra 106.3 app now and start streaming.
If you're looking for strength, capability, and reliability, it starts with Ford. And it starts at Jim Ellis Ford, Sandy Springs.
From the legendary F-150 to the adventure-ready Bronco to the versatile Explorer, Ford builds vehicles designed to handle real life.
And at Jim Ellis Ford, Sandy Springs, you'll find a great selection in stock, competitive pricing, and a buying process that's fast, fair, and straightforward.
No pressure, no confusion, just a transparent experience focused on helping you find the right vehicle.
You can even get started from home. Shop online, value your trade, schedule a test drive, complete paperwork before you ever step into the showroom.
Or come in and work with a team that respects your time and gets you on the road quickly. That's how buying a Ford should feel.
Get started at JimEllisFordSandySprings.com or stop by the Jim Ellis Ford Sandy Springs showroom, conveniently located at 7555 Roswell Road, just 4 miles north of I-285.
Jim Ellis Ford Sandy Springs, where you can always expect the best.
Thousands of veterans across Georgia are missing out on the benefits they've earned through their service. The Warrior Alliance is changing that by connecting veterans and their families to life-changing resources and support. Tune into the Warrior Alliance Network, our podcast and radio show dedicated to helping veterans succeed after service. Join us every Saturday at 11 a.m. on 106.3 to hear inspiring veteran stories, discover free programs, and learn about career opportunities available to you. Subscribe to the Warrior Alliance YouTube channel today.
Immaculately designed and manicured backyards can significantly enhance your property's value and visual appeal. And by adding a customized, professionally designed and installed artificial putting green from ATL Turf Co., it'll take your home to the next level. ATL Turf Co.'s custom greens are designed to replicate tournament-level green conditions with realistic ball bounce, roll, and speed, and has a stimp meter of 10 to 12.5. So maybe it's time to consider artificial turf.
Hey, this is John Flading from ATL Turf Co. If you can dream it, we can build it. Just go to atlturfco.com to schedule an appointment.
Don't believe this nonsense you see on TV commercials about how uncomfortable a CPAP mask is. Take it from me. You wear one, especially the nasal pillow I use, for one night, and you will fight anybody that tries to take it away from you. But if they do take it away from you, you can get more at cpapsetc.com, cpapsetc.com, with a store in Alpharetta, same-day shipping. To your health, cpapsetc.com.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
It's Wednesday, March 11th, and here are your headlines. Georgia farmers are starting to feel the impact of the Middle East conflict, with rising fertilizer prices creating new concerns across the state. U.S. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins says the federal government is looking at possible ways to help farmers if costs continue climbing. The Georgia House has approved a $38 billion state budget that includes increased funding for literacy coaches, school safety, and other education priorities. The spending plan now heads to the Senate for consideration. And finally, Governor Brian Kemp says he is considering suspending Georgia's gas tax if fuel prices continue to rise due to the Middle East conflict. The governor says he has paused the 33-cent per gallon tax after Hurricane Helene in the past to give drivers relief during price spikes. Today's weather is mostly cloudy with a high of 81 and a low of 48. With your Extra 106.3 headlines, I'm Bryce Gobert.
Tug and Los until 10 on Extra 106.3.
Gobert.
Come on, he's our own Gobert. Yes, he is. Country music singers have always been a real close family. Everybody knows Family Tradition. One of my favorite covers is Darius Rucker covering Family Tradition. He does such a great job, and he does it at most concerts that he does. In his own shows, he'll break out Family Tradition because it's so
a great song.
Freaking much fun. And you brought up how good it is at karaoke when people sing this.
Lord, I guess I went and broke their family tradition.
Here it comes.
Come on. Why do you drink?
Get drunk.
Why do you roll? Smoke?
Get high.
Why must you live? This is one of those songs.
This is the part that every bar knows.
Dude.
To get laid.
So good. So today, Front Office Los has taken the con, and he's come up with our trivia question to give you a chance to win Icon Hank Williams Jr. tickets when he comes to Ameris Bank Amphitheater in Alpharetta Saturday, June 27th, bringing Sammy Kershaw along for the show.
This is a very simple question. And let me tell you this, if you say Junior, you are wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I need the legal name of Bocephus.
There you go. What is his legal
name? The one that was given to him at the birth.
When he down in Shreveport, Louisiana.
And Junior was not part of it.
404-741-1230. Why do you drink?
Get drunk.
Why do you roll? Smoke?
Get high.
Why would you even want to go see Hank? You could just listen to us. I mean, I think at this point we could be just as entertaining.
Although we aren't going to have that look.
No, we don't.
You know, he makes it a point. He does have that sparkle to him.
Dude, I looked it up.
Oh, do you have a picture of you and him? Will you send it to me?
Yes, I will.
Is it on your Facebook? Because that's where I have to track down all this stuff.
I don't know.
And I'm going to be out Friday. I'll be at St. Louis for a volleyball tournament, so I've got to get my AI work in as quickly as possible.
You'll have plenty to do. I pulled it up yesterday, meaning to show, and this was old, dude. This is when I was working in Chattanooga at US 101, and Bocephus had came to Riverbend.
Okay. Look
Dude,
at him.
He's showing off his handful of rings.
Yeah. He looks like he's taking care of business.
Dude, and the crazy thing was, we walk in.
What animal do you want me to turn you into?
Yeah, well, there's probably a few that could that would go along with this.
Possum?
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. Yeah. You just turned into George Jones. Hell happened. No, it was crazy. We walk into the dressing room to do the interview, and Hank's surrounded by beautiful blondes.
Of course.
Several beautiful blondes. And everybody's giggling, and Hank, you know what I mean? And that's the way he's taking pictures. He's got rings on every finger.
Love it.
Dude, he's like a character.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's
100%.
larger than life. You know, he's telling all these crazy stories of things that he's done. And
I mean, that was a man.
It's nuts, dude.
And you want to talk about like the original cancel culture?
Yeah.
That was a man who, when asked about it, he talked about how he didn't agree with the policies of Barack Obama. And immediately they pulled him off of Monday Night Football.
Done.
And as soon as Obama was gone, they're like,
all right, let's bring him back.
You're pretty much Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
So let's make it a point to get you back on.
Let's get you back on. So do you know his full legal name for Hank Williams Jr.? 404-741-1230 and Extra 1063 across the social media platforms. And we'd love to set you up with those tickets. The Democrats, they do feel that they are like a wild animal, a rabid animal, maybe. You know, when the dog catcher gets the dog that's foaming at the mouth and he's got him backed into the corner, and that dog is just barking and snapping and biting. It's kind of what the Democrats are doing right now because they are in fear for their future.
If we get to the SAVE Act, which, let's be very honest about this, the establishment Republicans don't want it either. All right? Yeah. They're worried about what would happen there. Don't be mistaken. That is a threat to them. This is about the outsiders wanting this. And it turns out about 85 to 86% of all Americans want to have to where you have to show legal, up-to-date ID in order to be able to vote in national elections. So Donald Trump, and the way the left responded to this is audio from Florida, and this is during the Republicans' retreat, and him talking about the impact that the SAVE Act would have on the Democrat Party. And the Democrats, we often say this, I can't believe they said it out loud. They're looking at Donald Trump being like, I can't believe he said this out loud. It's not a secret. If we get rid of illegal voting, you lose.
For a really long time.
You lose for a very long time. There's no secret here. And they thought to themselves, like, I can't believe he said it out loud. No, that's the whole reason why we want this. In fact, I can't believe the amount of Democrats that are on board with this as well. They actually do have a belief that, well, you'll have less Republican voting if we have this. And there is the possibility.
Okay. Are you intimidated by that?
No,
I'm not either.
In fact, all I'm saying is maybe you should have a different level of responsibility in order to vote. As the promo says, if I can't find a way to update my legal ID, perhaps I shouldn't be voting. If I'm that much of a moron or I'm that much of a caveman that I can't handle updating my ID, as I brought up yesterday, I did my homestead exemption for the state of Georgia. I had to show legal ID for it. And the ID had to reflect where I lived, which meant I had to have that thing up to date from when I moved, a year ago. Not a problem. But that's the game that is being discussed right now.
But nobody's buying their BS. 80% of Americans across the board all want it.
And yet we can't get a vote on it.
John Thune, I was told that it was going to be Mike Johnson that was the weak link. I was told that from the get-go. It's turned out to be Thune. I think he is so entrenched with the good old boy, with the establishment. He's not going to let this happen. He makes more money by this not happening than as anybody else out there.
2 pieces of audio. Let's start with Donald Trump. Here's what he had to say about the SAVE Act from Florida.
They're doing everything possible because they know if we get this, they probably won't win an election for 50 years, okay? And maybe longer. And they're going to fight like hell. But boy, do they get killed. Because even the Democrats, you saw the numbers today, Democrats voted 86% that this stuff should be passed. The Democrats. With the Republicans, you're at 98%. But Democrats are at 86, except for the people that run the Democrat Party, because they want to try and win elections illegally. It's the only reason you vote against voter ID is because you want to cheat. There's no other reason. They come up with reasons. They say, it's racist. That's their number one, racist. Then you have to explain it, and they're just sitting there mumbling. They can't explain it.
All right, so that's laying it out there. That's putting it out there for the people.
That's saying exactly what we've been saying forever.
So let's move over to Senator Dick Durbin. Now, Dick Durbin is going to go down a road, and I've said this earlier in the show. I'm adamant about it. I am not worried about illegals having an effect on the vote. I'm really not. I'm more concerned when you suddenly make all illegals legal and citizens. Now that affects the vote.
As it did in Spain. The socialists did it there.
I am not concerned with hey, there were 30 illegals that took part in the vote.
Although it shouldn't happen.
It shouldn't happen. One's too many, but there's not enough that I think are brazen enough to go and vote.
Especially if ICE is out there.
Unless you're in California.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, and where I live, not concerned about it. What I am concerned about is the regimented cheating that goes on. The registering of dead people to our voter rolls, the registering of fake people to our voter rolls, the amount of people that show up on the rolls that should never be on the rolls.
Or the people that got driver's license that shouldn't, and that's an easy way to go vote.
That's what I'm concerned about because that is thousands of votes. All right, so listen to Dick Durbin as he plays this game, but he is not going to acknowledge that other portion of cheating.
The President of the United States now insists that the Save America Act should be our number one priority, our only priority. He made it clear. Don't let the name of this bill fool you. The Save America Act would not protect our elections. Instead, it would make it more difficult for millions of Americans to vote. So start with, it is already illegal for non-citizens to vote in the United States. President Trump and his followers would have us believe that is commonplace, and that's why he, quote, lost the election a few years ago. Election officials are required to verify now, under the law, all registered voters' citizenship status. The system works. According to the Conservative Heritage Foundation, and you can look this up online, from 2003 to 2023, 20 years. Do you know how many non-American citizens they caught voting in 20 years? 24. 24 people not voting. They were ineligible for voting in 20-year period of time. 20 years, 24 cases. The Save America Act would upend the past 2 decades of successfully secure elections with untested, dangerous limitations on voter registration. Here's how it goes. You want to buy an airline ticket and they ask you for identification? You pull out your driver's license if you have one. Simple. So why shouldn't we ask the same of voters? Well, there are a couple elements you should know. The Save America Act does not allow you to use your driver's license as identification. It doesn't allow you, even if you have a real ID, which you're supposed to have in your driver's license. So the most common form of identification for Americans is ineligible under this new law. You have to prove where you were born. They will accept a couple things, 3 things they've accepted. One is a passport. Do you have one? Half of Americans don't have a passport. They don't own one. I do, but half of Americans don't. What would it cost for you to make sure you have a passport by the next election in November? $165 fee. That's one of the ways that you can prove you're actually an American. But it's not the only one. There's another one. Your birth certificate. Seen it lately? Do you have it in your home? Do you know where to find it?
Yes.
And if you have a birth certificate which says your maiden name is a woman and doesn't say your married name, it doesn't work. It's ineligible. So this notion of proving you're an American citizen turns out to be a lot more complicated when you actually read the proposal which the president
All right, so there's Dick Durbin,
if you're an idiot,
who starts this. The premise is the same thing I'm saying. I am not concerned with illegals voting. Is it going to be a factor in certain places? Yes. Am I concerned about it being, for instance, in the state of Georgia? No. What I am concerned about is when thousands of votes come in that are not verified with legal ID to where we don't know who it is.
You act
if
like
they
that's
even
happened
exist.
before.
To me, I think if you want to partake in an election, you should show up to a polling place and have your ID. And part of what this is being pushed is that there are much more limited, when it comes to national elections, abilities to be able to vote through mail or be absentee. What is turned into in the last 20 years is that, well, you can't possibly, in the interest of America, in the interest of democracy, of the representative republic, you can't possibly be bothered to actually leave work and go show up to vote. You should just mail it in. No. You should have to go show up and show ID.
It should be such a rarity that you can mail in your vote.
Yes.
And look, the military is the only place that I can really see. And
Serving
you have
overseas?
you have to be deployed.
Thank you.
You have to be deployed. If you're on a base in America, you can go vote.
And
that's coming from me as a veteran.
And so that is Dick Durbin pointing out what I'm pointing out, but then running the gamut of just stuff that is assuming that responsible Americans who might vote are all idiots.
Dude, it's crazy that he said.
And if it reduces the amount of voters,
if you can't figure out where your birth certificate is, are you kidding me right now, dude?
Are
you kidding?
Yeah, if you show ID, ID's fine.
Yeah,
I mean, the premise of it to start with.
He said you couldn't use your driver's license.
Show your driver's license.
They scan your driver's license. What do you mean?
They validate what polling spot you're in based on your driver's license in this state.
My heavens. It's absurd.
In fact, because I've moved, my polling place has changed. And now my driver's license, because it reflects where I actually live, now I have a new polling place, and that's where I go to when it's time to vote.
It's really tough. I don't know how you figured it out, dude.
Well, as a minority, it's very difficult between computers and voting. I just don't know what I'm going to do. It's so hard.
The things they say never happens continues to happen. Morning Xtra and Xtra 106.3, 8 o'clock hours brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier expert. 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com. Wait, a Democrat calling for political violence? Say, ain't so. Feel like that's never an issue on that side. Next one Extra.
Extra 106.3 Sports, powered by 680 The Fan.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Wednesday, March 11th. From the NBA, the Atlanta Hawks have now won 7 straight games after a home win against the Dallas Mavericks last night, 124-112. Jalen Johnson goes for 27 points. Around the league, the second highest scoring effort in league history occurred last night. Bam Adebayo of the Miami Heat scored 83 points in the Heat's 150-29 victory over the Washington Wizards. Deals around the NFL become official as of 4 o'clock this afternoon as the new league year will get underway. The Falcons are expected to announce the signing of former Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa as he will become a free agent this afternoon. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
Truist Park is waiting for you, Braves country. Baseball is back, and so are your Atlanta Braves. The opening homestand of the 2026 season begins March 27th through the 29th as the Kansas City Royals come to town for opening weekend. The homestand begins with 2 gate giveaways, a magnetic schedule powered by Georgia Power, plus a rally towel presented by Racetrack to bring the energy to the home opener atmosphere on Friday, March 27th. Then on Sunday, March 29th, it's the first Kids Club giveaway of the year. The first 3,000 kids through the gates will receive a Ronald Acuna Jr. chenille cap, and families can enjoy exciting pregame activities inside Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Park. The excitement continues March 30th through April 1st as the Athletics visit Truist Park, and tickets start at just $10. Plus, fans can score a Drake Baldwin NL Rookie of the Year bobblehead on March 31st, presented by Coca-Cola. Get your tickets now at Braves.com/promos. Atlanta Braves Baseball. We are Braves country.
Shop in the new 2026 Toyota Tacoma will make sure your move is the one at Marietta Toyota's Ready, Set, Go sales event now through March 31st. At Marietta Toyota, every new Toyota includes our nationwide lifetime powertrain warranty. That's unlimited time and unlimited mileage for as long as you own your Toyota. And if you currently own a Tacoma, Tundra, 4Runner, or Sequoia, you may qualify for $1,000 in loyalty cash towards that new Tacoma, no trade-in required. We've got Tacomas in stock and more arriving. You can choose right now to set up and drive it home. Special APR is available, 4.99% APR, for 72 months for well-qualified buyers. Remember, visit us on Cobb Parkway South, just north of Truist Stadium. Marietta Toyota, since 1975, we've been here and we'll be here for you.
4.99% APR for 72 months with approved credit through Southeast Toyota Finance. Not all buyers will qualify. $1,000 loyalty cash available to eligible current owners on selecting Tacoma. No trade-in required. Offer ends 3/31/26. See dealer for details.
Hey Atlanta, it's Mark from Atlanta Safe House. It's 2026 and it's going to be a great year. So let's start the year off with a quiz. So what's the difference in a criminal and a socialist Democrat? Well, a criminal wants to steal your stuff, but a socialist Democrat wants to steal your freedom. So let's talk about safes. The Atlanta Safe House has the largest selection of safes in the Southeast. Brands like Browning, Champion, and Fort Knox. With over 500 safes in stock, we are the place to buy a safe. So come by the showroom or go to atlantasafehouse.com.
Are you paying too much in taxes? Most people are, and they don't even realize it. Hi, I'm David Nicholas, president of Nicholas Wealth Management. Every year, hardworking individuals and business owners send more money to the IRS than they legally have to. I hate to see it. Not because they did anything wrong, but because the tax code is complex. It's always changing, and it's full of opportunities most people never hear about. So here's the real question. Could you be paying less in taxes? With the right strategy, many people can. Through smarter planning, overlooked deductions, and better retirement and income decisions, you can win in retirement. That's why we're offering a complimentary tax analysis. No cost, no obligation, just a clear look at where you may be overpaying and what you can do about it. Stop guessing, get answers. Call Nicholas Wealth Management 678-990-8500, 678-990-8500, or visit nicholaswealth.com.
Nicholas Wealth Management is an independent financial services firm. This is for informational purposes only and is not specific investment advice.
It's official. President Trump has endorsed Burt Jones for governor.
Burt Jones has been an incredible leader. This man has my complete and total endorsement, and I really want to see him win.
Burt Jones is a trusted Trump conservative who's leading the fight to end Georgia's state income tax.
He's going to make a great, great governor. You will be very happy, Georgia. Burt Jones has my complete and total endorsement.
Paid for by Burt Jones for Georgia.
Hi, it's Los, here with Tom Mitchell, the honest car guy. Tom, you are changing the way people are buying their next pre-owned car or truck. How are you doing it?
You know, Los, we found a better way for customers to buy a car. An honest way, a very transparent way. You pay what we pay plus our honest fee.
How do you prove that?
We even prove it to you by giving you a copy of the bill of sale at the end of the deal.
How much can people save when they buy their next vehicle with the honest car guy?
I've saved people upwards of $20,000 and $30,000. I mean, it really depends on the year, the make, the model of the car, and the price of the car. You know, on a $15,000 car, I can't save you $20,000. We can probably save you $2,000 or $3,000. But it's through the course of the whole sale. The big one here that people don't realize, the financing. You go into the dealership, they tell you your rate's 9%. Well, really, it's probably 7% because they're allowed to make 2 points on there. The honest car guy, you'll save an average of $5,000 to $10,000 depending on the price of the car.
Folks, if you want to save thousands on your next pre-owned car or truck, try the honest car guy. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or honestcarguy.com.
The Morning Xtra, starting your day the right way. Weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m.
You know, if I can't figure out how to update my driver's license to reflect where I live, so if there's a scenario where I try to get on a plane or, buy alcohol or do whatever it is I'm going to do, if I can't update my information, maybe I shouldn't be voting.
Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station is Xtra 106.3.
Tug and Los until 10 on Xtra 106.3. Bill is spun up, Los, about the SAVE Act, and he has got a strong opinion. He's got some strong beliefs about Dick Durbin and the discussion that we just
Bill.
had. 404-741-1230. Bill, what's up?
Hey, listen, Dick Durbin is being disingenuous. $155 is for expedited service. Regular service, 4 to 8 weeks, costs you about $60. But that's not even the real issue. Donald Trump can issue an executive order to the Secretary of State saying that when they receive an application, they have to stamp it as certified and received and send a copy right back to you. That copy can be used to vote along with your driver's license.
See, there you go. Bill's already got this thing nailed down. Bill has had it with Dick Durbin. Bill has had it with the disingenuous Democrats. Bill has had it with all these fools that are all of a sudden trying to make this really complicated when, Los, it doesn't have to be complicated at all.
If you wanted, and I love how Bill's like, that is for
Bill.
expedited service, and that is absolutely correct, Bill. I'm one of the people that's having to go through this process because my passport is out of date by about 3 years. My wife wants to go internationally for our 20th wedding anniversary. So I'm going through this process. Now, if I wanted it back in 48 hours, well, that's like $700. But if I wanted it back much quicker, it's the $120. You're right. If I just want to go through the process of getting this thing done, it's $60. Now, the Democrats are always going to complain, well, that's a poll tax. Again, but they're playing on the fringes. I've got an ID.
You got the driver's license.
I don't have to worry about anything.
Oh, my heavens, dude.
And the fact that I went through that entire update process, if I was to lose my ID and need to get a replacement, I think that's $13, which, again, the Democrats will tell you, well, that kind of comes across as a poll tax. If you lose your ID, that's on you. And maybe $13 if it keeps you from voting isn't exactly asking too much.
If you left your ID at a bar or at a restaurant, let's say you're walking out of the bank and you drop it on the ground, you lose it. Would you go and get another one?
Yep.
Of course you would.
Immediately.
Would you be like, I can't do it, it's $13? No, you would go get it because you need your ID for everything. It's silly. So if you want to get a passport, and Bill's dead on, you got 34 weeks to get it done. You don't need to expedite it.
I didn't have a Tony Soprano panic attack, but I did have a little bit of a uh-oh moment. And, all right, so for the audience, when I get home, I consider I have a pile of comfy clothes. Spurs, basketball shorts, and like a T-shirt. And so I get out of my comfy clothes and I put on more comfy clothes.
It's a good life there.
It's typically holes in them, things like that.
Yeah.
Well, as I'm putting on my comfy shorts yesterday, I reach into my pocket because I feel something kind of weird. And it was my ID. Now, I had it because I had done my homestead exemption. And I stuck it in the pocket of my comfy shorts. Now, had I forgotten it, which I did, and I went to the airport on Thursday, which is what I'm planning on doing, I would have had a really difficult time trying to fly.
Yeah, they ain't going to let you do it.
No.
They ain't going to let you through.
And yet, I'm having to insist on voting?
Right.
Because you left your ID in your comfy shorts?
Yeah, dude.
I'm glad I got it back in my wallet.
It's so ridiculous. It's so it's just unnecessary. This whole discussion is unnecessary. And I think that's why this will backfire greatly on the Democrats. Like one of the many things I think will backfire on, like shutting down DHS. But because that's another thing at the airport, people are getting fed up. They're like, why in the world are we waiting in lines for 5 hours? Wait, you mean the Democrats could open up right now if they wanted to? Like if they would just vote to open up DHS, it would open and that's it? Yes, that's it. And I think that's why people with common sense look at this, go, hey, wait a minute. I just opened my wallet. My ID's right here. And I'm good to go? Oh, something got to be up. There's got to be a reason that they're making this more complicated. They're making people think they have to jump through hoops to be able to vote. It's absurd. It's silly. Nobody's buying it. Polling shows, even leftist polling shows this is an 80-20 issue. And what do the Democrats do on 80-20 issues? They take the 20. Every
time.
They just can't resist it. It's moth to a flame. It's a skeeter to one of those zapper bug lights. That's all it is. 8 o'clock hour brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier expert. 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com. Our winner, Los, he knew Hank Williams Jr.'s full name. You want to give it?
Randall.
There you go.
Hank Williams.
Randall
Jr.
Hank
was added
Williams.
later.
Robert is our winner this morning. He knew it. And I wonder, when he comes in here to get those tickets, and maybe they'll be emailed. I don't know if we have hard tickets or it's an email. But when you come in here to pick up the prizes you won from Extra or the fan down the hall.
Your championship, by the way.
What?
When you come walking in, you're a champion.
Oh, yes, that's right, because you're
picking up the championship belt.
Right. And what are they going to ask you for?
ID.
Hey, can we just see your ID? Make
An
sure
ID
who you are.
so we can give you the tickets. Yes.
To get concert tickets? Yes.
To give you free concert tickets that you won because of your superior knowledge of Bocephus.
That's right.
You will have to show ID.
But to go vote in consequential elections that determine the future and the outcome of this country, we don't. Can't make that happen.
I made a purchase online last week from Dick's Sporting Goods. When I showed up to go pick it up, here's my ID.
Oh, my.
It's amazing how that works.
Those horrible people.
They just wanted to keep me from collecting what I had already paid hundreds of dollars for.
Sound like a poll tax to me.
Ooh.
If I've ever seen one or heard one. All right, this is the Morning Extra at Extra 106.3. Download the app so you can listen live and on demand. We have tomorrow and Friday to give away more Bocephus tickets for that show at Amerispan Amphitheater in Alpharetta with Sammy Kershaw. They're on sale now, Ticketmaster.com, or you can win them here and in the afternoon. Kimber Show, are they having as much fun in their giveaways as we are? I don't know.
They're doing questions.
They're doing questions?
Oh, my God!
That's right. Oh, my God, here's the question. When we come back, photo evidence that it was not the U.S. that hit the school, even though that's been widely reported in the media. Next on Extra 106.3.
Time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
Okay, it was watching the news last night that suddenly it occurred to me I'm just fed up. Another story on the news about rising gas prices. Do you realize what we're facing right now? And you're pissing and moaning about gas prices? Which would you rather have? Expensive gas for a couple of weeks or Iran with nuclear weapons? Good grief, people. Get a grip. We're not dealing with a religion here. We're dealing with a death cult. These monsters have spent the last 47 years yelling death to America. Finally, we have a president that will respond to that with a very serious, oh yeah? You worry about gas prices. 30,000 demonstrators in Iran executed, shot in the streets by Iranian goons because, well, they didn't want to wear their hijabs or whatever they call it. They executed how many thousands of people? If the person to be executed for these demonstrations was a woman and happened to be a virgin, i.e. young woman, they would rape them to make them unclean so that they could be executed and not get their moment in paradise. They pledge that all unbelievers will be slaughtered when you find them. If you have an ounce of sense, which thanks to our education system you might not have, you would know that as soon as they got an operational nuclear weapon, they would launch it against either Israel or the United States. We have a president who's trying to prevent that, and you're worried about gas prices. They're still not as high as they were under your precious Joe Biden. You go out and buy a brand new car you can't afford with $700 a month payments because it's so cool, and then you worry about gas prices. I'm fed up. I really am. Are the American people really this stupid? Get behind the president, get behind his effort to rid the Middle East of these Looney Tunes, suck it up, carpool, walk, ride a bicycle, and please stop bitching about gas prices when our country is facing much more serious problems than that, i.e. Muslims. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3. Now I'll go calm down.
It's March 11th, and this is your Fox Daily Snapshot. It's National Worship of Tools Day. Whether you're a professional repairman or just a handyman who works around your home, you should own and know how to take care of a basic set of tools. Chances are you may already have some tools laying around where you live, so take the time to go out to your shed or garage or down into your basement and organize and clean your tools, and if need be, buy some new ones. Also on this date, in 1892, the very first March Madness game is played played in Springfield, Massachusetts, as a crowd of 200 were on hand at the Armory Hill YMCA for the first public basketball game. The final score, the students beat the teachers 5-1. And in 1918, U.S. Army mess cook Private Albert Gitchell of Fort Riley, Kansas, becomes the first documented case of Spanish flu. The global pandemic would go on to claim the lives of more than 50 million people. I'm Tushar Saxena, and that's your Fox Daily Snapshot.
The NFL shows on a daily basis that it absolutely cares not a whit about the players or the fans or anything besides making the billionaires more money. That's all they care about, and that's their job.
The Kimmer Show every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on Xtra 106.3 and the Xtra app. Streaming across Georgia on the Xtra 106.3 app. This is WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. Xtra 106.3.
We just got a key update to the economy. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The inflation report for February coming in just like predicted.
Month over month, a gain of 0.3% expected. Year over year, a gain of 2.4%. That's the annual rate. Again, year over year as expected. That's also the previous number we got for January CPI.
That's Fox Business Network Cheryl Casoni. This check of consumer prices, though, is pre-war inflation. The price of oil is back up to $87 a barrel this morning. Gas is up another 4 cents. AAA's national average for regular, 59 cents higher than before the conflict started. And Iran keeps trying to disrupt fuel supplies, bombing 3 cargo ships in the Strait of Hormuz. They've also been putting mines in that strait. The U.S. has destroyed 16 Iranian mine-laying boats. Interior Secretary Doug Burgum just told Fox.
President Trump has made it very clear the consequences if they try to do that. And there's a lot of options between ourselves and our allies in the region, including our Arab friends in the region, to make sure that those straits keep open and that energy keeps flowing.
And Iran's also been firing drones into Gulf countries that have been shot down. And
overnight, more Iranian ballistic missiles soared through the skies of central Israel. Even just a few minutes ago, we had sirens here in the second largest city of Tel Aviv. Many missile interceptions taking place overnight.
Fox's Trey Yingst also reports from Tel Aviv.
Thousands of targets in Iran being hit by U.S. and Israeli planes. The Israelis telling Fox News just about an hour ago they launched a new round of strikes against Iran and Hezbollah positions.
Now, Fox's Steve Harrigan's an Armenian near the Iran border.
From Iran's chief of police, a stern warning to his own people, saying that any protesters out on the street will be treated like enemy combatants, that they will be killed. He said security forces have their fingers on the triggers.
This after a crackdown on protests before the war killed thousands in Iran. At least 2 people dead in Lake Village, Indiana after a tornado hit. Also damage across in Illinois. America's listening to Fox News.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-884-1012 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-884-1012. That's 800-884-1012. What do you have to lose? Call 800-884-1012. Again, 800-884-1012.
This is Tucker Carlson. You're listening to Atlanta's only conservative talk station, Xtra 106.3. Worldwide on the Xtra app.
Tug and Los until 10 on Xtra 106.3. It is a good, glorious day. Gosh, I love the fact that it is hump day and the fact that you can almost taste the weekend. It's just over the horizon. And I'm sure you have big old plans for this weekend. Or if you don't, that's even better.
If you're riding a horse into town, you're right now on that ridge line and you can see the town down below. You don't have that much further to ride.
No, that's right.
To get to that weekend.
That's right. Absolutely. It's within reach. It's right
It's almost there.
You can almost touch it.
It's almost there.
It's almost there. There is so much going on. Oh, we just got an email from somebody named Liberal Don.
What?
Yeah, Liberal Don.
We already got a Liberal John.
I was like, wow,
why is somebody trying to play on Liberal John's playing field?
You can't take Liberal John's name, Liberal Don. Liberal John is friend of the show. But he was like, I feel like I need to call in. I feel like I need to say some things about what y'all are talking about. Liberal Don, you're more than welcome, just like Liberal John's always welcome. Just like anybody is welcome here on Xtra 106.3, 404-741. 1230-404-741. 1230 for Liberal John, Liberal Don, and any other lib that
rhymes with John or Don.
What would rhyme with that?
Liberal Vaughn.
Vaughn, yeah.
They just keep coming out of the woodwork.
Whatever. But everybody's always welcome, man. It is a open and
poor John. He's got himself such a following, and now
he does.
People are just glomming on
it. Is it following or is it competition?
I think so.
See, but I think somebody's trying to knock Liberal John off his perch as our go-to guy because he calls a couple times a week, maybe.
Yeah, we hear from him on the regular, and that's good.
Yeah, it is.
Say at least 3 times.
3 times a week, perfect. Liberal Don, you take the other 2. Jump in there. We don't see eye to eye politically, but that's the beauty. We don't have to, man. We don't have to hate each other. We don't have to not get along. We don't have to have some sort of animosity toward each other personally. I don't think that's what it's about. And
it's Tug's very likable all the time.
Well, I don't know about that.
As the mayor of the Battery.
Yeah, right. I go around politics, shake hands, kiss babies. I was told that's how you get elected. I'm told that's what's going to get John Ossoff elected. Not that he's not done anything whatsoever. It was that he kisses him.
Tug has grown Atlanta's only conservative talk station to be the biggest in Atlanta.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Babies. He's elected.
That's right.
Based on likability.
I could be senator of the state. One of the 2. Speaking of, Georgia 14. No one got 50 plus 1%, but there will be a runoff. That is going to happen on April the 7th. And it's a good thing that the Trump kiss came in. Clay Fuller, he is going to be advancing on the Republican side. And then Sean Harris on the Democrat side. This is a guy in Clay Fuller that got told by Trump, you're my guy. He wins as usual. I think was it you that had the numbers, Los, that when the Trump kiss is like 90+% or something?
Well, it's because he always picks who's just about to win.
Yeah, well, a lot of times you're exactly right. but the number was gigantic.
He's looking good. Let's go with him.
Let's go with that guy. Dude, is that not the most politician thing you can possibly do? I love it. But Clay
was winning.
Absolutely. Clay was appointed as district attorney by Brian Kemp. I saw a tweet from Brian Kemp this morning saying that he was proud, he was happy for Clay Fuller. Saw he and his wife celebrating that. So make sure that you're motivated to get out and vote on the 7th, on April 7th. And we'll keep you up to date. Maybe we'll have Clay on. We'll reach out to Sean Harris, have him on too. If y'all would like to hear from him, we would welcome him to the show, as always, just like we do Liberal Don and Liberal John. All right.
Liberal Vaughn.
And Liberal Vaughn, if he were to show up. Let's get to the first thing to know.
Way out west, there's a show, the Morning Xtra, Tug so bold,
crazy bold,
the story, breaking news that's bold.
Come on! All right, the bold news this morning is something that we've been telling you for weeks and weeks and weeks, yet the mainstream media ran with the exact opposite. No surprise that they would do that because the mainstream media, unfortunately, seems to be pulling for Iran in this battle.
Yeah, they desperately need the American forces or the Israelis to kill a bunch of civilians. That's what they're hoping for. And so how often have you heard one after another on the left talk about the 145, the 160 girls in a school? Now, the Iranians will tell you, oh, you think that's a big deal? I was like, this is a regime that targets young women and will kill them indiscriminately just to prove a point. And once again, that is what's happening. It ends up being from Matt Tardio. Now, Matt, if you know the name or if you've ever heard the name, so he hosts a podcast. He does show up on Newsmax. He is a veteran. he has done some really good work on this, and you can find him over on X. He's at Anger Tab, T-A-B.
All right. Anger Tab. We need to get Anger Tab on.
And what he's done is he's isolated the video and the shots of when the missile came into the school area and exploded. And what he's been able to do is to show you that's not a Tomahawk. Now, we then will ask the next question, well, did the Iranians deliberately target a school in order to try and create sympathy around the world? Entirely possible. They've done that. They're terrorists. That's what terrorists do.
I mean, look at what happens in Gaza with regularity.
Yes. Oh, look at
they bombed the hospital.
What was it? The one person who kept dying every time by the Israelis?
Yes.
Until Hamas, when the war was over, actually killed him.
Yes.
They were like, you didn't do a good enough job. We're actually going to kill you, not the 6 times that you died by the hands of the Israelis. But just to look at what he has the isolated images, and he's proving to you the wing position on that particular projectile, that missile, does not match up with American Tomahawks. It matches up with Iranian hardware. And he explains what the hardware is. And again, lays it all out there. Yet the media has to keep this discussion going in the interest of trying to disparage our American professionalism with our soldiers and the administration.
When you get your ass kicked like that, you got to have something. You've got to make something up. I mean, you had the Iranian foreign minister, I believe it was yesterday, when he was like, we will dictate how this war goes and the things that happen in this war and when it's over, not the Americans, not the Israelis. I mean, it is Baghdad Bob all over again.
So this is what Matt Tardio points out. The wing-to-body ratio of the munition in question matches an Iranian KH-55-derived land attack cruise missile. Further, the video shows the munition at a steep dive angle for the final attack phase. This places the attack angle at approximately 70%, which is the max angle attack angle for a Tomahawk. The attack angle does not match, and he's laying it all out here, that the missile looks like this, and the attack angle is incorrect for either one of them.
Yeah,
proving either it was deliberate or it was a misfire.
Yeah, either way it goes, anybody that thinks or anybody that suggests that the United States military, specifically the Navy, because that's the one I will defend to my grave, obviously, for obvious reasons. Anybody that says the United States did that on purpose or would even promote the fact that they think they did it on purpose is so ridiculous that... Like, there's some things that piss me off. That's one of them.
Now, the argument, and he points this out, that you'll probably get from the liberal media once this becomes apparent, is that, well, we were perhaps using GPS jamming technology in the area, which is why the missile went errant. So it's still our fault.
Yeah.
It's like, no, this is what happens during warfare, during operations. And so, as Matt Tardio is pointing out, there was some significant failure within the Iranian hardware. Whether we caused it or they did, either way, we didn't bomb that school.
But they would love to lay it at the feet of the United States military. That has been, and dude, I even went through and asked a bunch of the social media, the AI platforms, like ChatGPT. I was like, did the United States do this? Yep, sure did. I mean, it wasn't even like maybe. It was, yep, sure did. That was ChatGPT, I believe. It might have been Gemini, but still, both of them gave me the same answers.
Sure.
It was definitely the United States that did this. No doubts, no context, just yes.
Yeah, because that's all pulled from very strange and very questionable sources.
Yes, without a doubt.
So good for Matt Tardio for actually breaking it down and showing you the images, and I think most importantly, showing the fixed wing position on Tomahawks versus the KH-55. They're different.
Yeah.
And as he's pointing out, that ain't a Tomahawk.
And when you capture the picture, and you can do that, that changes the conversation, that changes the dynamic of the discussion altogether. Will we see it on MS Now? Absolutely not.
Never.
Will you see it in the mainstream media? I bet Fox doesn't even pick it up, which would be crazy. That's who they say they cater to. People that are of a conservative mindset, but they're still mainstream media. Please don't mistake that. They're going to tell you what they want you to hear. We're going to tell you what they want you to know, and nothing else. They're going to try to keep you listening and watching as long as you can. Doesn't matter if they make you happy or piss you off. They don't care as long as you're watching.
The fun part is that he then goes on within his post to post every piece of misinformation that he can possibly find, most of it being doled out by the Chinese, by the Iranians, and by their Russian allies.
Imagine that.
For the American media.
And they will lap it up. They will go and get it, and they will just spread it, share it. They love it. God, dude, you don't hate the mainstream media enough. And I don't even like using the word hate most of the time, but I'm beginning to hate the mainstream media. Like, this is why. But that's the reason, and we talk about it a lot, Los. I know you're the same way. I don't even turn on the news.
Would you like to? I want to read this to you because this is from a Mets, Knicks, Rangers, Giants, Notre Dame fan, St. John's 1993 alum, realistically thinking. This person posted over to Matt Tardio. Sure looks like a tomahawk to me. Tardio responds, it does to most retards.
Obviously, you don't know what a tomahawk looks like. For heavens. Yeah. But people who have no idea. They will pick up what they've been fed. If there's another example of turn your notifications on your phone off, because you'll get those notifications that some fool from CNN has written an article telling you what happened and why it's America's fault. They always do the same things.
Always.
They never shift gears.
And then we end up having to go to people like Scott Jennings,
who's always he's the only bright spot in the CNN roster.
And what is happening now on the left is that you have a downplaying of the level of professionalism and intelligence, not just within the administration, but within our military. Everything always goes back to, there's no way they can possibly do this. Part of the reason why Trump continues to beat them is because they underestimate how smart Trump is. Van Jones is one of the only people that I've ever heard talk about, why do we continue to underestimate this man?
When he's proven it.
It's to our own fault. He keeps beating us. I mean, think about it. Donald Trump not only took on 2 assassins, 1 bullet, 34 silly counts in New York, a multitude of other court cases in Florida and Georgia, all of them faulty.
And all of them failed.
All of them failed, along with an entire news media. And what has happened? He sits in the White House and he has both houses of Congress.
How'd that happen? He's a buffoon.
Huh.
How'd that happen? He's an idiot.
It's weird. It's weird how that continues to happen. So I want to play Scott Jennings trying to talk about whether it's Trump or J.D. Vance or in this case Pete Hegseth. They have to downplay them, and it's to their own detriment that they can't figure out because they look at these people in very two-dimensional ways. Well, he's a Fox News host. How smart could he? Yeah, weekend host.
You got to get that in there.
How smart could he possibly be?
Lloyd Austin was former Commander General of CENTCOM, 4-star General. Yep. Pete Hesketh, Fox News host.
Yes, very different resumes.
Very different resumes.
Decorated military.
Very different resumes.
Decorated
there
military.
Is no one.
Can you not acknowledge that the man served?
The man served. Yes, the man served. He
highly decorated. Not in combat.
Not in combat.
Hegseth?
He
wasn't in combat.
Iraq and Afghanistan.
I mean, the man served all 3 tours.
And he, I think, had a Bronze Star for his service.
My point that I want to get back to is that there is a level of competence that the American public is thirsting for that they are not getting from Pete Hesketh. And we're seeing that. When he is up there...
And transparency.
Transparency. That's all we want. We're talking about 160 children that were killed. All we want is an honest answer that comes from you and the President of the United States. This isn't politics. This isn't Lindsey Graham versus Cory Booker. This is just tell us what we're doing, because we have 7 soldiers, as Abby corrected me last segment. We have 7 soldiers who've died. We have 160 children who've died. We understand that this is the fog of war. However, we want a level of competence from Pete Hesketh that we're not getting.
I do think that we are going to know. What is incompetent about this military operation, in your opinion, in your expert opinion?
I don't. First of all, I never served, and let me start by saying
you're quick to say this is incompetent. I want to know what's incompetent.
No. I think Pete Hesketh is incompetent.
Why?
I think
what's happening?
Because he has an inability to tell the truth.
What did he say? What did he say that was false?
Because we know what happened.
No, we don't. They're investigating.
Well, I mean, look, there is.
Wait, whoa. No.
Hold on.
I want all of you you all to go out on a limb right now and tell me that the United States, even during the fog of war, did not kill those kids. Tell me they didn't.
I don't know. They're investigating it, and I'm willing to abide by the results. That is as she said, that's the right answer.
All right, let me point out, if I was to refer to Lloyd Austin as Lloyd Houston and do it over and over and over again, do you think that would possibly hurt
your credibility?
My credibility?
Yeah.
Pete Hesketh.
You can't pronounce Pete Hegseth?
Pete Hesketh.
Okay.
Now, let me ask somebody who's former military a question. Tug, if you happen to serve in a deployment capacity in a combat zone, even if you don't fire a shot, have you been in combat?
Yes, you've been in a combat zone, of course. And you get combat pay for doing such. That's an additional on top of what your salary is.
What kind of morons are sitting at that desk on CNN?
And not only does Pete who is it again?
Pete Hesketh.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Hesketh.
4 times, by the way, I counted.
Yes.
Not only does he have 1 Bronze Star, he's got 2 Bronze Stars. So this dude has done his work. This dude has served his nation, and that I know of has never been AWOL. That I know of.
Let me just make sure I've got this straight. If you're working with soldiers as a platoon leader in Afghanistan, and your job in Afghanistan is to teach counterinsurgency tactics in a combat zone, are you in combat? Yes.
You're getting paid for it, for sure.
In fact,
paid to be there.
Every single time that my father-in-law was deployed to a combat zone, my mother-in-law started planning on what she was going to buy next.
Performance must be above and beyond what's normally expected for the role, distinguishing the individual from other similar duties. That is what you get the Bronze Star for.
My mother-in-law would go, hey, Dude Embry is going to make this much amount of money serving in Afghanistan. Maybe we should do a pool. I mean, you're in a combat zone. And yet these fools on CNN, again, they downplay the level of intelligence and professionalism of the administration and of our armed services.
Heroic or meritorious achievement or service. That's what the Bronze Star is all about. So if you're looking for it, that way you know that your Secretary of War has it. And Lloyd Austin, which I respect his service, I do. But he was a piss-poor Secretary of Defense, as it was called then.
He was only AWOL twice.
I know.
That's a big deal.
Nothing.
Pete Hesketh.
Nothing to see here, buddy. Nothing to see here. AWOL. Told nobody. Dude is working in captain of the president. Told nobody. Except for the assistant Secretary of Defense. And was like, shh, I'm going to be away. I'm going to need you to just mind the shop while I'm gone. Ask no questions. Gosh.
He went to the hospital secretly and didn't tell anyone.
Dude, it's insane.
That's AWOL.
Absent without leave, as it's described in the Navy, UA, unauthorized absence.
You're crazy!
When we come back, Gavin Newsom isn't the only corrupt one in his family. Next on the Morning Extra.
Hey, Atlanta, it's Los. Let's talk about Walker mowers and where do you grab that? You get that over at Howard Brothers. March is here in Georgia, and that means it's time to bring your lawn back to life. You remember what that's like. You got to go ahead and scalp it and get it ready to go. Get over to Howard Brothers and find your Walker mower to make that happen. Designed for complete control and a beautiful finish to the lawn, Walker makes spring work feel effortless. From the pros to homeowners, you can take pride in the work that the Walker mower is going to do for you. So, ready to upgrade your cut? Get on over to Howard Brothers. Head to Howard Brothers and experience the Walker difference for yourself.
You've been warned. If the Dems win the midterms, the border opens back up. Impeachment comes down, and you get more riots in the streets. Now's the time to hunker down and vote red. Count on Extra 106.3 to bring you the stories that matter from the most trusted voices in the country. Proud to be Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station. Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
This is Jonathan Geller at D. Geller & Son Jewelers, where we're bringing you the biggest diamond engagement and wedding event of the year. Our spring bridal event is back. For 1 weekend only, take advantage of exclusive savings, extensive designer lines, and an incredible event-only diamond selection. Plus, get event-only savings of up to $3,000 or 0% APR financing for 3 years at D. Geller & Son's spring bridal event. It's this weekend, Friday through Sunday, in both showrooms, Kennesaw and Sandy Springs. Save even more when you RSVP online at dgeller.com.
Need advice on getting things fixed up around the house? No matter how big or small that project is, we've got your answers. Listen to us on the All Four Seasons Home Show presented by the Trusted Toolbox. Join Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage Entry Doors and Windows, and me, Chris Lalamia, your favorite handyman from the Trusted Toolbox, as we tackle all the issues, fixes, and honeydew projects around your home. Join us every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. or grab the podcast anytime on the Xtra 106.3 app.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-780-3599. 800-780-3599. 800-780-3599.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
We all know somebody, my wife, who falls asleep the second their head hits the pillow. They're perky in the morning. They're not looking for an energy drink every afternoon, and they're also not sick and feeling sluggish all the time. Yeah, I hate them. I love my wife, but that bothers me. But anyway, they get restorative sleep. That's the secret. So this year, make a resolution to get better sleep. And may I recommend Z Factor from Relief Factor. Z Factor is not just melatonin. It's a blend of 4 natural ingredients designed to quiet your mind, help you drift off faster, and keep you sleeping deeply through the night. So you'll wake up energized, clear, and ready for the day. George said I use it every night with great results. Charlotte said my body feels so much better. Thank you, Glenn. If better sleep is part of your resolution, here's the first easy win. For a limited time, save 46% off your first order. Just $19.95, 30-day supply, 800-4RELIEF, 800-4RELIEF, or ReliefFactor.com. Make this year the year you actually sleep well with Z Factor. 800-4RELIEF. That's 800, the number 4RELIEF, or visit ReliefFactor.com.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
It's Wednesday, March 11th, and here are your headlines. Georgia farmers are starting to feel the impact of the Middle East conflict, with rising fertilizer prices creating new concerns across the state. U.S. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins says the federal government is looking at possible ways to help farmers if costs continue climbing. The Georgia House has approved a $38 billion state budget that includes increased funding for literacy coaches, school safety, and other education priorities. The spending plan now heads to the Senate for consideration. And finally, Governor Brian Kemp says he is considering suspending Georgia's gas tax if fuel prices continue to rise due to the Middle East conflict. The governor says he has paused the 33-cent per gallon tax after Hurricane Colleen in the past to give drivers relief during price spikes. Today's weather is mostly cloudy with a high of 81 and a low of 48. With your Extra 106.3 headlines, I'm Bryce Gobert.
Tug and Los until 10 on Extra 106.3. We talked about some of the crazy, wacky stuff that The View does and some of the things that they talk about. And I wanted to point out maybe that Sunny Hostins, when she was talking earlier in the show, we played a clip of her saying, well, Donald Trump, instead of attacking Iran, should have been focused on homelessness in California and gas prices in California. And I thought to myself at the time, I was like, well, isn't that what the governor's for? Shouldn't he be focused on some of that? Because she didn't seem to bring his name up at all. I found that odd.
I remember him spending about $24 billion to make the problem even worse.
That's right. And the fact that homelessness can be cleaned up essentially in 3 or 4 days. Remember when President Xi from China showed up? I think it was San Francisco. Don't quote me, but I believe it was.
It was.
Homelessness disappeared. and the streets were lined with communist Chinese flags. Not the American flag, but communist Chinese flags.
You can always collect them up and send them to Athens.
Yeah, you could. Holy cow. Yeah.
I mean, that's the strategy.
I know. That seems to be the thing to do. Look, I don't know where they sent them necessarily, but we know that they cleaned it up really quick when they wanted to. So I would ask Sunny Hostins about that. Maybe she should even pay attention to some of the spending that's going on, because she talked about the amount of money that it is costing to take action, the strikes in Iran. Maybe she should pay close attention to Gavin Newsom's wife, who's pulling in a pretty nice, hefty sum through a nonprofit called the Representation Project. And some of the things that they endorse and have helped implement in California will make you go, oh, my goodness. It'll be like Kimmer in the afternoon.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Listen to this.
She reportedly paid herself a massive paycheck while pushing controversial sexuality and gender education in California's school system. The New York Post is reporting Sibyl Newsom leaned on her powerful husband and his education board to push preachy flicks about toxic masculinity into classrooms, all while raking in up to $300,000 every single year through her nonprofit, the Representation Project, and her for-profit outfit, Girls Club Entertainment. The report goes on to say Newsom's Board of Education recommended Sibyl Newsom's films in controversial health education guidance in 2019. Shortly after he became governor, that guidance was later adopted by the state education department and sparked some heated debate for its focus on sexuality and gender identity. Teaching manuals pushed by Newsom's Representation Project include materials like this. Look at your screen. That's a diagram labeled the gingerbread person, used to teach middle schoolers about terms like pansexuality. The revelation comes amid a crisis in California schools, of course, with a recent report card finding 44% of California 11th graders do not meet reading standards. Nearly 70% were below par in math. We've reached out to the governor's office for comment. We're waiting to hear back.
I don't expect that you will hear back. Something just tells me. But the fact that you're combining nonprofit and then for-profit, and those non-governmental organizations, all of this seems to have a theme. There seems to be a trend with this kind of stuff. We started learning about it with Doge early on, and then now we've seen it in Minneapolis and Minnesota, and now it's creeping out to California. Los, I'm starting to believe that this is something that they do with regularity. I'm starting to believe this may be their thing.
I've said before, I'll say it again. I need to start a church or a bowl game, because with the tax laws, having a 501c3, the amount of money that I'm donating to whatever cause I'm choosing to is strictly on my own heart. I can give 50%, I can give 75%, I can give 90%, I can give 1% of all the revenue to whatever charity I'm representing. And so it ends up being a really nice way to cheat the system. Now, is it illegal? No, but it's what gross people do. And so Gavin Newsom's wife is no different. She set up her for-profit, and then she set up her nonprofit, which just happens to pay her a tremendous amount of money. It's all legal. It's just gross.
It's so disgusting. And I don't know about you, but
when I have the Church of Los, you're going to be a bishop. Oh, we're going to make so much money, Tug.
Look at there.
We're setting up our own version. I don't know, Bryce. I don't know if you can join yet.
You may be too good and clean.
Listen, Bryce, you go get Dianetics. You read it cover to cover, and we'll talk.
So we're going to start a church. We're going to start making a whole lot of money. I love where this is going, because I feel like there's already a blueprint out there.
It's impossible these days to start your own religion in your own church because of the ability to embezzle and put aside money and enrich yourself. But a bowl game, well,
now you're talking. I feel like
we're talking.
You have some experience there, on the sports side. And I know a guy that used to run he still does. He sells all the naming rights for all the bowl games that ESPN owns. So maybe we can get him involved, because he's already got a foothold. Like we could call it.
Can't start a church. Can start a bowl game.
Front Office Los Bowl.
Yeah.
Morning Xtra Bowl.
And what we'll do is we'll raise money that goes to charity. We'll get a corporate sponsor, and we'll hand out a check every single year for $25,000 on behalf of Dr. Pepper.
Big check.
And in the meantime, we'll each pay each other $1 million,
if not more. God, man, it seems so.
And that's all Gavin Newsom's wife is doing.
I know, but it drives me crazy because I know how gross it is, and I know they're using legal loopholes. I want to see that closed down because of the fraud that we've seen in the federal government, because of the fraud we've seen in Minneapolis and Minnesota, and now we're just touching the tip of the iceberg of the fraud, the hospice fraud out there.
Now,
all run through NGOs.
Now, that is going to be a different matter entirely, because what they're going to have and what we're going to find is they're going to have submitted either fake or bogus cases in terms of the person either didn't exist or the person was not at their facility. You're going to have them billing Medicare, Medicaid to the tune of billions of dollars. That's going to be different. But it's all part of the
same, dude.
But it's all part of how am I enriching myself?
I know
off the backs of Americans.
I understand there's a difference, and you're right to point it out. But I've gotten to the point where I don't trust nonprofits at all.
No, not at all. Oh,
none of them.
No, none of them.
None of them, because I know what's happening behind the scenes. There's a great example I was told about when you're at the grocery store and they say, hey, do you want to donate $1 to whatever? You pick the cause, fill in the blank. And of course, it's something good like schools, helping the
single moms,
whatever,
dads in prison,
whatever it is. And you're like, sure, yeah, I want to help that. And then the grocery store keeps 70 cents. And
it's about 28 cents it finds its way.
It actually gets over there. And sometimes it's even less than that.
Yeah.
I've got to the point where I don't even do that. As soon as they tell me, no, I don't want to do that. No.
I'm very quick to, not today.
Not today. Thank you. I appreciate it. No, I don't want to, because I know what's happening. Now that I've discovered what's happened, I just have no patience for it. I just don't believe in the things that are happening, because I know people are just enriching themselves off the backs of regular people, using their emotion, their goodness a lot of times. And man, these NGOs and these nonprofits they're the worst of the worst, dude. They're the bottom of the barrel.
So I was able to read upside down.
Oh, yeah.
On your message that you got from Liberal John. And all I will tell you is the same thing that Donald Trump has told you. If you don't like it, change the tax laws.
And I don't.
Because what did he tell Hillary Clinton?
You wouldn't change it because all your friends are doing it too. All your liberal friends are doing it.
It's like, you'll never change it because your friends and your donors are taking advantage of all of these tactics.
And guess what? She didn't have a reply.
No, because she knew there is no way they'll ever change the tax code when it comes to this stuff.
Dave Chappelle did a full bit on it.
On SNL, talking about this is when this man became a star, because he actually talked to people like a regular person and flat out told them,
yeah, I'm doing it.
It's like, yeah, I'm taking advantage of the tax code. Your donors do it too.
That's exactly
If
right.
you don't like it, change it. And by the way, only one of us has been in government this long to do it, and you never did it.
And have no plans to.
It's real simple.
No plans to.
Yeah, Liberal John was basically making the point about how Donald Trump has filed for bankruptcy. I'm like, do you realize how many companies and how many people will file for bankruptcy? It's a strategic... It's not bankruptcy in the way that you think of it. In fact, if you're in a bad collective bargaining agreement that is costing you, you file for Chapter 11. You get into bankruptcy so that you can make those CBAs, which I'm telling you, the unions do not like when this occurs. You make them null and void and you renegotiate it. You are renegotiating by which you're operating with debt. That is strategic. So anytime you think of like this, somebody's been bankrupt, they're not bankrupt.
Yeah.
People file bankruptcy with millions of dollars all the time.
And it ain't changing anytime soon. He does say, Liberal John did say he wanted to get royalties. He said Liberal Don cannot butt his way.
No, I agree. That's wrong. Can't take advantage of what... John's a brand. That's Don right. is like a knockoff.
And John's been here since the beginning.
Yes.
John gets to stay. Don, you got to go by your middle name or something.
Yeah. You're going to be like Liberal Andy from here on out.
Or whatever it is.
Liberal Dave can't be.
You can change it.
Somebody might mix up Don and John. We can't have that around here.
Exactly right.
Man's got a standard.
That's right. We appreciate you.
He said he's calling in tomorrow, though.
He is, okay.
So look forward to that.
Okay.
It's like when
Don or John?
John.
Okay.
It's like when Pontiac kind of had like they had basically ripped off the Corvette, but they made it smaller.
Yeah.
So it looked like a Corvette until you got up close to it. I'm like, that was wrong.
What is that?
Liberal Don's the great value version.
Is that, yeah.
That's right.
I was like,
Well, no, John is the great value version. John is the brand.
John is like...
No, I said, see, this is why it's confusing. This is our exact point.
Exactly. That's why we can't have a Don.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, John is like Hanes.
That's right. He's the brand. He's Fruit of the Loom.
Don is the version that you get at Costco.
He's the Coca-Cola.
That you're not really sure about where those underwear are from.
That's right.
Just a store brand.
It says made in Vietnam. You're like, I don't know about these. These might not hold up.
But you never know. I mean, it might be an open competition. We'll see.
Can't ever tell. So much funny. So it is so funny, and so much money out there, and that stuff is so awful and ugly. Knowing the fraud, waste, and abuse that's going on in our government, the fraud, waste, and abuse that are taking advantage of just regular people.
Starting a church.
Los is going to start a church. I think bowl game's the way to go, man. As a man of faith, I don't feel good about the church thing. I don't want to be Bishop Tug. Like, I know I agreed to it earlier. I've changed my mind. I'm doing an about face on this. We're going to wrap up the show next. I want you to hear from this woman who is sick of the so-called morals that people have. Next on Xtra 106.3.
Xtra 106.3 Sports, powered by 680 The Fan.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Wednesday, March 11th. From the NBA, the Atlanta Hawks have now won 7 straight games after a home win against the Dallas Mavericks last night, 124-112. Jalen Johnson goes for 27 points. Around the league, the second highest scoring effort in league history occurred last night. Bam Adebayo of the Miami Heat scored 83 points in the Heat's 150-29 victory over the Washington Wizards. Deals around the NFL become official as of 4 o'clock this afternoon as the new league year will get underway. The Falcons are expected to announce the signing of former Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa as he will become a free agent this afternoon. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina. Hi, it's Los, here with Tom Mitchell, the honest car guy. Tom, you are changing the way people are buying their next pre-owned car or truck. How are you doing it?
You know, Los, we found a better way for customers to buy a car. An honest way, a very transparent way. You pay what we pay plus our honest fee.
How do you prove that?
We even prove it to you by giving you a copy of the bill of sale at the end of the deal.
How much can people save when they buy their next vehicle with the honest car guy?
I've saved people upwards of $20,000 and $30,000. I mean, it really depends on the year, the make, the model of the car, and the price of the car. You know, on a $15,000 car, I can't save you $20,000. We can probably save you $2,000 or $3,000. But it's through the course of the whole sale. The big one here that people don't realize, the financing. You go into the dealership, they tell you your rate's 9%. Well, really, it's probably 7% because they're allowed to make 2 points on there. The honest car guy, you'll save an average of $5,000 to $10,000 depending on the price of the car.
Folks, if you want to save thousands on your next pre-owned car or truck, try the honest car guy. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or honestcarguy.com.
Did you know that there are over 34,000 lawyers in the state of Georgia? Yet despite that huge number, Bruce Hagen was recently named by his peers as one of the top 100 lawyers in the state. Do you know who is not among the top 100 lawyers in the state? Some clown standing on top of an 18-wheeler. Those kind of lawyers may make flashy ads, but they're just marketers, not real lawyers. If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need Bruce Hagen, a real lawyer who tries cases and wins. Call Bruce Hagen. He's the real deal for your injury case. Hagen-law.com.
Hello.
Hey, is this Mike Fitzgerald?
No, I think you have the wrong number. Wish I could help you.
Well, you could if you were Mike Fitzgerald.
Who is Mike Fitzgerald?
Mike Fitzgerald is the only realtor I'll talk to because he can sell my house fast for a great price and even in this market.
Yeah, I'm definitely not Mike Fitzgerald.
Oh, I figured that out. Because Mike Fitzgerald would have sold my house already.
Selling your home? You need Mike Fitzgerald from the Harry Norman Realtors team. Visit brokermike.com or call 678-780-HOME.
You've worked hard to build your investments, but are they positioned the right way from a tax perspective? Because it's not just what you make,
it's what you keep. Hi, I'm David Nicholas, president of Nicholas Wealth Management. Many investors don't realize that their portfolios may be creating unnecessary tax exposure. Capital gains, required minimum distributions, inefficient account placement can quietly reduce your returns, especially as you approach retirement. At Nicholas Wealth Management, we help clients evaluate whether their investments are structured in a tax-efficient way, looking beyond performance to understand how taxes impact income today and your legacy tomorrow. Are your assets in the right accounts? Are there opportunities to reduce further tax liability? Is your strategy aligned with your long-term retirement goals? Call Nicholas Wealth Management today, 678-990-8500. Schedule a complimentary review. That's 678-990-8500 or visit nicholaswealth.com. Nicholas Wealth Management, helping you keep more of what you've worked so hard to build.
Nicholas Wealth Management is an independent financial services firm. This is for informational purposes only and is not specific investment advice.
Human trafficking happens everywhere, sadly, but often happens on our nation's roadways. By being aware and knowing the signs of human trafficking, you could make a difference and help stop this crime. Georgia DOT is doing our part to end human trafficking. Please report any suspicious activity to the Georgia Human Trafficking Hotline at 866-363-4842. For information on the warning signs of human trafficking, visit doas.ga.gov.
Sponsored by the Georgia DOT.
If you live in Georgia, you already see it. The cars are turning yellow. The pollen is here, and this year, with an earlier and warmer spring projected, it's hitting even sooner. But here's what matters most. It's not just what's outside. It's what your family is breathing inside. Your kids, your pets, you. Your HVAC system doesn't just control the temperature. It circulates the air throughout your entire home. And without proper filtration and purification, that air can carry pollen, dust, and allergens right through every room. Central specializes in whole home air purification systems. Advanced filtration, humidity control, and high-efficiency carrier systems are designed to support healthier indoor air. When you combine air purification technology with dependable carrier performance, you're creating a cleaner, more comfortable environment for the people who matter most. Right now, you can receive up to $1,700 in rebates plus 60 months 0% financing on qualified systems, making it easier to protect your home before allergy season peaks. Call 770-GET-HEAT or go to centralheat.com today. Central Heating and Air, delivering carrier comfort for the world we share.
The legend Neil Bortz is live every week on the Morning Xtra, and here's what you missed.
There was a Superior Court judge in DeKalb County at the time that I graduated from law school, and his name was Curtis Tillman. He is the one that actually called me off the air over at Ring Radio and said, "Congratulations, lawyer, you passed the bar."
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I called my mom at home and I said, "Okay, bitch, I passed."
Why would you ever say that to your mother, Neil Bortz?
Well, son, don't be disappointed when you fail the bar exam. Everybody does the first time.
Well, but
and
I mean...
I wouldn't even talk to her until after I'd taken the test.
She's just trying to, because it is a challenging test. A lot of people do fail at the first time. She's trying to soften the blow a little bit.
Bitch had to learn.
Oh, yeah. Well, hey, thanks for the positive thinking, Mom.
Catch the full segment at extra1063.com or anytime on the Extra 1063 app.
Tug and Los until 10 on Extra 1063. I cannot believe to this moment, to this very second, that Neil Bortz said that to his mother. I want to believe that he was doing that for effect.
In jest,
yes,
perhaps?
In jest, perhaps.
And calling her up and giving her the bee treatment.
But then there's that other part of me that you can't ever tell when it's Neil Bortz. You don't know. He is not afraid to ruffle feathers. He's been doing it for 40 years or even longer, maybe.
I just think it's funny that he got to the point doing radio for so long that he turned into the person that said, outside of like his friends, family, close relatives, he doesn't care what you think.
He does not give a rip.
Not one bit. In fact, still one of my favorite Neil Bortz stories. There's somebody coming up to him during breakfast with his wife and wanting to debate some sort of whatever he brought up on the radio. And he wrote down a number on a napkin and handed it to the guy.
Here's what it costs.
Here's what it costs me to talk to you about that right now.
Yeah. This is what I make.
This is what I make. Here's my rate.
And let me tell you, Neil Bortz, in case you don't know, which I'm sure everybody does, but maybe young Bryce might not know. I mean, this dude made grips and grips of money. I mean, there's a reason he's got a Bortz bus, and there's a reason.
There used to be a Bortz plane.
Yeah. And he lived in the finest and did. I mean,
it was a good era of radio that he was, and he was nationally syndicated all over the place.
One of the biggest shows in all of media.
So when he talks to you, Bryce, just know
you talk to a man of means.
You're talking to a man of means, a man who's been around, done some things.
That's right, seen it all, and calls his mama the B word.
The fact that he's nice to Bryce and he knows your name. It's
and you're
doing well. Okay, B.
Yeah, come on. There's no way. There's no way he said that to his mother.
Well, he was competitive when he talked. She was trying to soften the blow of failing the bar, and he's like, I didn't fail the bar.
Me?
I dominated that thing.
Can you imagine, though, saying something like that to your mother?
No, not my sainted mother.
I can't even pretend. I couldn't even, like, if we were trying to film it, like, set me up just to see what it might sound like if I were to go down that. I couldn't even bring myself to pretend.
I feel awkward when I've cursed around my mother.
Me too, dude. That Morgan Wallen song, "Don't Curse Around My Mama."
Even when my mom has thrown out crazy stuff when it comes to politics, and I've dunked on her, I'm not
did it
cursing
with as much respect as you could.
I was like, well, that's a terrible idea. No wonder you're so messed up with this sort of stuff. Ha! That's right. And you get a ha!
Get out of here. Get on out of here. And then she just gives in. She's like, okay, fine. Once you hit her with a yeah. Dude, that's great.
Telling you, had to do it to my dad when we were in Orlando last weekend. When
he set him up, dude.
He did it to himself. He sat at the table near the pool, started bringing up some crazy stuff about Venezuelan fuel and what it's, again, like Mother Jones stuff. And I just said, Pop, boo! You were talking to a table of a bunch of people that don't agree with you.
Yeah.
I was like, and you're in the minority here. I was like, I just want you to know.
Just might want to sit this one out. It's just funny when the most random of places where people will bring that stuff up. And like you and I, we've talked about it, how little we talk about politics outside of the show.
Very rarely. In fact, if it comes up during the next 2 weeks when I'm around a bunch of other parents, it'd be strange. In fact, it only happened one time, and that was because when no one else is at the table, one of the other parents was like, so tell me about what's going on in Iran.
Yeah, and I think that's a different conversation than, hey, I'm setting the table, I'm bringing everybody into this discussion to make people uncomfortable, which it will. But if you're one-on-one and it's like, hey, I really don't know what's going on.
It's like, explain this to me. You pay attention to this a lot more than I do, and I think that's the only time I feel comfortable jumping into that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lead with it, ever.
Ever. It's crazy. So I want to play this lady for you. She is sick of the moral outrage. And she's kind of a badass. If you were to see her, I'll share at Tug Cowart and at Extra 106.3.
Is this the other woman you're going to do a movie with?
Yeah.
Outside of the hero lady?
Yes. Yeah, we're going to do a good one. Listen to this.
You liberals unalive babies by using abortion as a form of birth control, but yet you call that having morals. You liberals consider yourself feminists until a woman is a Trump supporter, then you don't give a flying about her well-being, or her life, but yet you consider that having morals. You liberals again call yourselves a bunch of feminists, but allow men in women's sports, locker rooms, restrooms, etc., yet you consider that having morals. You liberals again call yourselves a bunch of feminists during the free Palestine era, but now that the women of Iran are actually free from a terroristic regime, you don't give a about them or their well-being, but you consider that having morals. You liberals consider peacefully protesting by looting, rioting, vandalizing cars and buildings, and robbing stores, all because doesn't go your way, but you call that having morals. President Trump was almost assassinated how many times? And instead of giving a about it, y'all scream they missed, and y'all consider that having morals. You liberals cheered and applauded and rejoiced when Charlie Kirk was assassinated just for speaking words, yet y'all consider that having morals. I can keep going on and on and on. So sure, y'all do have morals, but your morals align more so with Satan than with God. Now have the day you deserve.
You now have the day you deserve, she says. And if you were to see her, she's a beautiful young woman, but she's in like a cut-off T-shirt. She's got a sleeve of tattoos on her right arm. She wouldn't be what you normally thought of as a everyday conservative. But with the big tent, all of a sudden, there's more people involved. There's a lot of people that look a lot of different ways.
So the other day I was pondering this. Communism obviously is a destructive force to all free will and to all liberty, no matter where it's been practiced, where it's been implemented. All right, trying to catch them, trying to get to the lead lap is feminism. Because anywhere that feminism has taken hold, it's been destructive to families. It's been destructive to birth rates. It's been destructive to the traditional roles between men and women. Wherever feminism has taken hold, it, again, not as deadly as communism. Communism, it's, again, they're the lap leader. It's got the gold medal.
But I got the red ribbon. I got the silver medal.
But feminism is sitting there going like, can we get on the podium here?
Yeah, it's the thing about ladies like her that I have so much respect for, because they will buck the system. And they're going to be yelled at. They're going to be shouted at. They're going to be told that they're traitors to their sex, or if you could define sex. But that's the thing. She didn't care. She didn't give a rip about any of those weird things that libs set up as some sort of false morality, some sort of pretend morality that they have.
Let's just go through the history. Eugenics started with Planned Parenthood.
Yep.
Which then became a way to make sure, just as Ruth Bader Ginsburg had brought up as well, that she talked about in a news magazine article, it was, when it came to Roe versus Wade, a way to have less people that are desirable about. So, in the interest of feminism, we've killed what? How many millions of babies since the
Dude,
since early 70s?
I don't know the numbers. I don't know the number. I know it's a lot. I mean, I can do a quick search and figure it out.
100 million? Feminism has killed children in a competitive level with communism. And so when that woman is telling you about how y'all are full of it with your feminism, it's because she recognizes what it really is all about.
73 million. That's
dead babies. Thanks to feminism.
And that's an annual number, dude. 73 million globally each year. 73 million. Big number, man.
Leave you with that one. Dude, next time you hear somebody talking about how they're a feminist,
breaks my heart.
Be like, well, you're just a couple laps short of being a communist.
Oh, Lord. That'll do it for us. Glenn Beck program is up next. Then Clay Travis, Buck Sexton, the biggest show in all of conservative media. And David Lee Rolfe will sing you in to the afternoon show with the Kimmer, who also has Bo Cephas tickets this afternoon, too. For Los and Bryce, I'm Tug. Y'all come back now. You hear?
Need more than just headlines on your ride to work? It's the Morning Extra, live from 6 to 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, only on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
Shop in the new 2026 Toyota Camry. Psst, come here. Make your move right now during Toyota's Ready, Set, Go sales event now through March 31st. At Marietta Toyota, every new Toyota includes our nationwide lifetime powertrain warranty. That's unlimited time and unlimited mileage for as long as you own your Toyota. And you can buy with confidence. Marietta Toyota is a BBB A+ rated business with a 4.6 star Google rating and over 11,000 reviews. Right now, we've got strong Camry inventory, so you can choose the trim and color you actually want. Special APR is available as well on new 2026 Camrys, 4.99% APR for 72 months for well-qualified buyers. Visit us on Cop Parkway South, just north of Truist Stadium, Marietta Toyota. Since 1975, we've been here and will be here for you.
4.99% APR for 72 months with approved credit through Southeast Toyota Finance. Not all buyers are qualified. Offer ends 3/31/26. Lifetime powertrain warranty included with every new Toyota purchase. See dealer for details.